Howdly doodly, every pony. Get started a little bit early just to get this shit out of the way. Twilight has made a mistake. Okay, so anyway, I've been gone for 3 weeks. If you are not following me on Twitter, then you would know why. Or no, if you are following me on Twitter, you would know why. If not, then I had to get on that grind. I say we. I think my kid maybe, but I don't know. Somebody in the household left the sliding glass door unlocked, and somebody invited themselves into the apartment, and they took my girlfriend's purse, my car, and my kid's tablet. So I was on the grind trying to replace shit. We got the car back. We called the cops and had it reported stolen. And then me and the girlfriend are out to dinner, and I get this call from some guy, and he says, "Listen, I didn't steal the car, but I've got it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, where's it at?" And he's like, "Well, it's at this location." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I go and I get my shotgun because I feel like it's a setup. I'm like, okay, this guy is the guy that stole the car, and he wants the other one, right? Because he knows that I have two, because I know that they got into both of my cars, but one of them's a stick shift, and so I assume that's why they didn't take both. So I knew that they had one, and I felt like maybe they wanted the other one. So I loaded my shotgun, and we went over there, and we're in this little apartment complex, and I jump out with this fucking bullpup 12 gauge, clearing the little apartment complex. I cleared the car, and then I had my girlfriend jump into it, and then she took off in the car. It had a flat tire. The bumper was kind of fucked up, and we drove it to a Walmart down the street, called the cops. The cops came over there to unlist it as stolen. And then the guy calls me back and says, "Hey, listen, I still have your spare keys if you want them." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think I accidentally stole your car." Exactly. Fucking crazy. So he calls us back and says, "I've got your spare keys." And I'm like, "Cool. Where are you at?" And he's like, "I'm at this Brahms." And so we go over to that Brahms, and the guy just like walks up to my car without me telling him what kind of car I have or anything like that. This is how I know that he got into both cars, because he just walked right up to my vehicle at this over by this Brahms, and the cops roll in right behind us, and he goes, "Hey man, I thought I said no cops." And I'm like, "Hey man, I need to know who did this," right? Because like I was upset about the car, but I have insurance, so it was all right. And then I was upset about the tablet, but that's okay. I was only paying like $2 a month on that shit. Like, it wasn't that big a deal. I was going to replace that. What I was really upset about was that they took my girlfriend's purse. They rooted through it. They saw all of her diabetes medication. And then they decided, well, I guess I have all this person's medication. I better clean out her fucking bank account so she can't replace her medications. We had to go and beg family members, not very hard, because, she needs this medication in order to, live. And they went and they, we replaced the medication, but they cleaned out the bank account first. Like, we had like, I don't know, $400 or something like that. And they spent well over $500. And just cleaned it completely out within like half an hour. Just driving around in my car, spending her money. And we were broke, like beyond broke, even then some. And so first things first, we got the medication replaced. And then one of her work friends bought my son an iPad Air. And so he's got a new tablet. Then this guy named Bradley calls us and tells us where the car is, so we get it back. And he was upset about me calling the cops, but I had to because, you know, I had to get the car unlisted as stolen. And it doesn't work that way. Like, I could not just call up the cops and be like, JK, LOL, I know I said my car got stolen, but I have it back now, so don't worry about it. Like, that's just not the way shit works. And so they, I assume that they arrested Bradley, because he was upset, obviously. And he texted me, because he's got my number, you know. So he texts me at like 3 o'clock in the morning and just goes, you didn't even say fucking thank you, and I replaced your, or returned your car and all this other nonsense. And he said that he just got out of jail. Well, I know how to look that shit up. It's all open record. And he never went to jail, so he was lying. He just wanted me to feel bad because he sang. I guess he didn't steal the car. I don't know who. I haven't been able to confirm it, but somebody that lives in the same general area as I do was then arrested for possession of stolen vehicle at around the same time that Bradley is texting me saying that he just got out of jail. So I assume that he went to a lockup and he was under questioning, and he told them who actually stole the car. They went and nailed that guy and then let Bradley go. And so that guy is in jail right now and is still in jail. And we're keeping track of his court date because sometimes Tulsa County will put their what's it called? They'll put their documents on the interweb, and we'll be able to see. And so we're hoping to see some court documents to confirm that this was the same guy. So that was some crazy shit. So with the deductible and everything like that, getting the bumper replaced and all that shit, we had to, you know, work a lot. I was working like probably 5 days a week, and then some off days here and there. But we were mostly just working, trying to cover this deductible and everything. But the nightmare is officially over. It took like three and a half weeks to get that all figured out. But we are all good now. We have it all figured out. Now, Soul Strings is in Stream Voice. We haven't heard from Soul Strings in a while. How you doing, bud? You there?
Yeah, I think I am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Great, awesome. We just had a really, really rough day. Like, this whole day was a mess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would say so. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, pretty much all the way around for everybody. It's been nuts.
Yeah, I figured, like, literally everyone I know had some rough time, and like, I can't imagine being that much synchronized all over the planet. Like, everyone was having a rough week. Like, literally everyone I know, one way or another, different circumstances, different situations, different shit going on. Everyone suffered enough, so that was just like.
Well, that's just the way she goes sometimes. But we have it all figured out, hopefully. I don't know about your end. What's going on with you? Do you feel like talking about it?
Not much right now. It's not entirely personal or whatever. It's just unrelated to the topic and stuff. So you plan to stream for like 1 hour. That's not too much. Like with the music, obviously. So let's get this over with.
Alrighty. So we are doing the slaughter.
Don't forget to share the screen on Discord, please.
True. Let me do that super fast. So yeah, well, we haven't heard from you in a while. What happened to your mic? You were gone. We missed you.
When exactly?
I don't think we had you on voice for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I think I explained that earlier because we are constantly moving between two flats from one city to another, from one room to another, and sometimes I have to sit and watch the stream without a microphone, and then like I could get a microphone, and then another week without a microphone, etc., etc. So it's a bit complicated. Wait.
Right, I got you.
Mike died? Wait, on my end? Garga said Mike dead.
I still hear you, and I see you on the levels. You seem to be broadcasting loud and clear on my end. So.
Oh god, fucking shit.
Alrighty, so we're going to be doing all 2021 tracks, and then we'll be getting to J-Dog Gone's 3 little submissions right at the end. Let's make sure this is appearing on screen. It is. We've got night mode on. We're checking out Negative Øhio. Whatever this is, I don't know how to pronounce that. Kvifor.
You will hear it because that's the only lyrics of this song.
Oh, okay. All right, we got a 3.5-minute song from Negative Øhio.
As usual.
Oh, of course. Negative Øhio is known for that. So let's get into it. Let's try it out. This is already right up my alley, juxtaposing the little cute furry animals with, some experimental noise. This is going to be good. We know the rules. Okay, so if the point of the song is to build anxiety, where I'm just blue balls, because the whole time it's building and building, you just expect it to drop, and it never did. It just kind of got more and more and more intense for 3.5 minutes. I can't believe that was the whole 3.5 minutes. That's actually went by pretty quickly. Usually when you have like experimental tracks that kind of they don't really follow any structure, they just build like this, or they're just kind of one sound like this. I'm no closer to understanding what how this phrase sounds, because I couldn't understand the fox the whole time. But yeah, it was pretty. That was pretty interesting, almost like a score, of like some kind of descent into madness. Yeah, you are now entering the void. It really kind of felt like that. That's pretty interesting. Sort of like an emotional, like
Experience.
feel to it. Yes, experience. That's the word I was looking for sure. It was pretty interesting. Negative Ohio is one of those groups that, experimental sounds like this aren't super popular. So I would, I guess I would expect them to not have as many subscribers, but still, 23 is kind of low. If I figure that the experimental game would be a little bit have a wider audience than that, because when it comes to experimental music, I'm pretty sure that Negative Ohio is probably one of my favorites. I know that I can't remember what he goes by now, but he used to go by Mordecai Mapper, and he did some really interesting stuff too. But
he's probably sitting in the chat right now.
I see the yo at the top of the chat, but I'm not sure if he was still active. But
Okay.
But yeah, that's some pretty interesting stuff. So that was Negative Ohio, whatever this is. You have any thoughts there? Hi, it's Mordecai Mapper. Yeah, okay. So Mordecai Mapper is still what he goes by. And that's what he is, the Mordecai. So whenever you see those Twilight Mordecai ships, that's who we're talking about.
Oh.
So that was Negative Ohio, however you pronounce that. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. So next up, we have Korak. It's Twilight's Day Off. This is going to be some super heavy stuff, because that's what Korak does. That's my expectation, at least.
That's a short little thing he made for Twilight Sparkle Day on Equestria Daily.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be cute little thing.
Oh, it's only 40 seconds. Sweet. Let's do it. Ooh, God, it's loud. Oh, look at that. That's a weird kind of divorce from what he usually does. But it's pretty interesting. Nah, it's simple. It's got, I don't think there's even a snare in there. It's just bass and cymbals, just a nice little tap. That's pretty interesting. Well, that's kind of cool. What?
It's like a little music sketch or something like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was a good time. 40 seconds, and it was just kind of a chill little ring-a-ding-ding. A diddly-doodly, as we say. Savage Destruction said, it's cute, and it is. I agree.
It's a cute little moment of Twilight Sparkle sleeping.
Yeah.
Short track, short review. That's the rules.
Gargod with the $0 in chat says, I expected an ear rape at the end. And yeah, I do too. I'm so brain poisoned by memes that anytime I see anything wholesome, I expect it to take a turn for the worse. So this is the next one we've got is Shattered Kyber. The title of the song is Again. So we're going to check this out. 4 minutes. 1.4 subscribers, so we're gonna, or 1.4 thousand. So this is gonna be official. It says
Excuse
official.
me, 1.4 subscribers.
Yes.
Like, how can you be like 0.4 of a person to subscribe to a channel? Like,
Well, that would be somebody that subscribes, but they don't ring the bell. So now he's 1.8 subscribers because I just subscribed.
Okay.
So Let's see here. This is Shattered Kyber again. Let's check it out. It's 1.4. Yeah, I know what. I know. We were memeing. We know that it's 1400.
I've been walking into the limit. Let them suck in the dirt. Let all the chains of mud behind. I have been hanging with my head down. Arab seems longer than it is. Everybody can see, but no one cares. Sometimes I think I'm going to fail, but their passion makes me Here we go again, between tears and happiness. Here we go again, but your thoughts in their place.
The reason for the subs are the guitarist is a Mexican YouTuber. Okay.
I know
I feel like I'm the only guitarist on the planet that doesn't have stickers all over their axe.
that no one can.
Sitting and shredding is a little weird. I mean, I guess it kind of works with the, I don't know what this would be called, like a smoking chair or like a fainting couch or something.
They're just sitting in the same place.
I like the what's it called, the bench seat. This is a really neat scene, you know, with the classic car that's kind of rusted out, but you know it's still shiny, and then the car seat sitting on the tires. That's pretty neat. I like this. This is a neat set. I'm trying to figure out what this pink shit is. I wonder if those are just like dollar store lightsaber toys or something like that they've glued to the back of these chairs.
On the brave one. Now wanna ill at your face. Here we go again, between tears and happiness. Here we go again, but your thoughts in their place.
That's actually the point. LOL. Kyber is a crystal that gives power to a lightsaber in the Star Wars lore. Oh, well, look at that. See, someone vomited on the couch, so they removed it from the truck, cleaned it up, and left it drying. See, flames, so the couch could dry quicker. Oh, that makes perfect sense. It kind of, I don't know, it just feels like the guitar and the drums fall out of sync sometimes, and the drums like sound really dry. I don't know if there's any like reverb or delay or anything like that on the drums. It sounds like not. I think it's real. I don't think that that it's sampled, but it sounds very dry to me. It might be triggers, but I don't know. I don't know. It sounds really clean for triggers. Like even then, I don't know. It sounds recorded. Hey, that's kind of neat. SK Shattered Kyber, neat. No drummer in the video. True that it might be samples. I'm an idiot. And no blast beats. That is also a thing. It was kind of neat, especially in this first verse. Not the strongest vocals, but overall coming together. I feel like both of these musicians are like comparable skill levels, so we're not having this problem where you see with a lot of collabs where you'll have one musician that is just like ungodly fucking talented, and then you'll have whoever they're collabing with that is, you know, kind of mediocre or whatever, and it causes kind of an imbalance, and so you'll get like, you know, not the best vocals ever, but then you'll get like screaming guitars. It feels like both of these musicians, I don't know if they collab often or if the Shattered Kyber is a thing that they do all the time, but or like with this singer, but I feel like these two musicians work together really, really well, and the sets were neat. Some of these effects were cool. This is a good time. This is a 5-star time right here, you know, despite not being like a professional setup. I feel like this is pretty freaking good, to be honest. Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure about that, honestly. It's like, I like the scenery, I like the way they filmed it all, like, I like the setup they had, like, with that truck and the couch from the truck. I like the lights, the roses, the flame effects, and the pink neon lights, like light bulbs, like thin and long neon lights. Light bulb was something like that, shining from behind the couch, from like whatever the background is at the moment. But I don't like the mixing in this track. First of all, of course, I agree that the vocals are like far from perfect, but my main complaint would be how they are processed. They sound way too dry to me. It sounds like they are slightly detached from the instrumental, because like they sound dry and they sound like they are not in the mix. It's like she's singing a karaoke version or something like that. At least I get the impression that it's not mixed tightly enough. Overall, the instrumental, especially the rhythm section with the rhythm guitars and the drums, this all sounds hazy, not tight enough to be like a solid rhythm section. So I do understand that they wanted to focus on these two particular musicians, like the vocalist and the guitar player, but they didn't put much effort into the rest of the instruments and into the rest of the mix, because like the drum samples, if it's properly samples, they sound alright, but like it's not selling it to me. It just doesn't sound tight enough to be heavy, to be well mixed, to be impactful, to be heavy enough. I don't know. And like the bass, the bass is clearly there, but like even the guitars, even the guitar work when he's playing the rhythms or when he's playing the solo, it's not on the foreground. It's buried deep into the mix. It's hazy and kind of weak. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it, but I don't like the fact that this sounds soft, hazy, and not tight enough to be considered really heavy. I can understand that this may be called like gothic or symphonic metal or whatever because of the female vocals, but it just doesn't work for me. I would expect a different kind of mix for this type of music. So yeah.
Right, I got you. I feel like the like I want to say my main complaint with the drums was that that snare drum is, I mean, it comes through, but it seems like it's just loud rather than it's cutting through the mix. And I think you're right about the karaoke part. I was maybe that's my problem with the vocals. That maybe it's not the performance that I'm really having a problem with. Maybe it's the way that it's mixed in, especially in there was kind of some humming vocals in there, and it's clearly very, very compressed, and so it sits very, very high on top of the mix. And yeah, so I can understand that. I don't know. I think overall, I think everyone involved is at around the same skill level, and that's why I think it works so well. That's just me though.
It was a great performance though. Like visually, the video was very cool. Seriously.
All right. Well, that was Shattered. Oh, go ahead.
I say must give them that because like they put a lot of effort in the video at least. So it looks good. It sounds all right.
I gotcha. Okay, so that was Shattered Kyber again, the official music video. So we've got this regurgitation of shit, which means we're going to have. Oh, it's their first song. Okay. Well, yeah, that is pretty good. Then they'll probably get way, way better than that. So we are going to check out this here, Regurgitation of Shit song. This is the Diarrhea of the Mouth Cattle Decapitation cover. So we know we are going to get just... Did I say Regurgitation of Shit correctly? Yeah. So, yes. Regurgitation of Diarrhea of the Shit. But the... so we're about to get some crazy cell phone recorded vocals and a drum machine. 42 seconds of this. Let us figure this out. It's going to be good stuff. Oh, and we finally got a lyric video from Gargod. Cool. Oh, no more cell phone? You got a real mic. Good, good. It's interesting. I think that the layering from the what is it? The backup vocals are quite, what's it called? Down-tuned, that kind of shit. They're processed in a way to make them sound deeper, and I think it's neat how they layer over each other. That's pretty fucking neat. And then what's this part? The shrieks are panned all the way to the left, which is kind of neat. It kind of works, especially in this format where there's no guitars or anything like that. For background shrieks, I think that it would work really, really well if you were to record shrieks at the same time and double track them and make it really, really huge. That would be pretty neat. But I like this. This is pretty neat. Uploaded on my birthday. Oh, well, happy birthday, Black and Blue. I'll have to get you a cake or something. I'll mail it to you, and hopefully it won't be rotted by the time it gets all the way over to where you are. So
he said he got a microphone. Like, it's not recorded on the phone, like the vocals.
Yeah, and the quality is...
That's a downgrade. That's a downgrade, because when he was recording vocals with his phone, it sounded really rough and raw and like muffled and whatever. And now the vocals sound cleaner, and I can hear the microphone clipping all the time, and it just sounds worse. It just sounds worse because you cannot hide the clipping behind the quality anymore. So when you had a bad quality microphone, you could hide like anything, any noises, any clipping, any artifacts or whatever, and call it a day, because like that's how grindcore works. And now when you have a decent, semi-decent microphone, all the artifacts, all the flaws of the vocals, of the mixing, it just all comes to the surface, and you cannot hide it anymore. It sounds over-polished now, like over-polished for grindcore and under-polished to it be called real music, because the clipping is not supposed to be there.
Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying. I feel like the quality is, I mean, the quality of the vocals is much, much better, but you have to
Yes.
mix responsibly. And so I think that's the problem that we're having here. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Gargod uses Audacity or something like that. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have like a legit DAW. But keep in mind, for all the vocalists out there, whenever you're recording your vocals, you don't want the volume to be super, super high, because if you start screaming or whatever, you don't want it to clip, because you can't edit out clipping. But you can boost your vocals to make them louder, if you have a sound treated room, that is, because if you boost it too much, then you'll get background noise if your room isn't sound treated. But I mean, it is what it is, as they say. Yes, Reaper is legit and free. I've never tried Reaper before. Yeah, Gargod uses Audacity. And Audacity is good to get you started, but yeah, you gotta upgrade to some real shit. I've never used Reaper before. Do you have any experience with Reaper there, Soul Strings?
I use Reaper to add humanization to the MIDI drums and MIDI instruments. So because it has a really cool humanizing tool. Like you select the MIDI and you set the percentage of the MIDI you want to, the MIDI to be humanized, tempo wise and velocity wise. Like it just edits randomly the velocity and the timing on your MIDI track. So it's
okay.
really cool to humanize the drums and other instruments. I mean, you still have to use it responsibly and knowing what you're doing and what kind of effect you want to get from changing the velocity or changing the timing on the MIDI notes in the piano roll. But still, it makes things easier and better in a certain way. Just use it responsibly. But it's a cool
Right.
feature. I haven't seen it in any other DAWs. I think nowadays maybe Cubase has it in version 11 or something like that. Maybe other DAWs. I'm not entirely sure, but Reaper probably was the first one who implemented that feature. So it's really cool.
Ableton still doesn't have that. I don't have any options for that. And I've got Ableton 11 now. I can't remember which one it was, but I got a free upgrade from Live 9, I think. I can't remember. But I use Ableton as well. Savage Destruction uses Ableton too. Ableton gang, rise up. But that's... I like Ableton, but their programming for MIDI and stuff like that is incredibly taxing, and you have to do it all... you have to do it all yourself. There is no automatic anything at all, which really, really sucks. But I was able to do that kind of with, what's it called? Get Good Drums kind of automatically does that. It just doesn't reflect in the actual thingamajig. It won't run the exact same sound. It'll produce some variance. So Get Good Drums is good for that. But when you're actually getting changes in velocity and whatever, you have to do it all yourself, and it sucks. And so most of the time, actually, I just don't. Unless I'm doing a very specific feel and I'm going for fill, if I'm going for a very specific fill on the drums and I want it to have a specific feel, then I'll change some variants myself. But for the most part, it's just all 100 velocity, because I don't know. Laziness. The Virgin Ableton and the Chad Audacity. True.
The Chad.
That's a nice meme. That's a good meme you got there.
Nah, man, you're a pretty good meme, man. You have some pretty good memes.
It's a good meme. It's the memerino.
Yeah. Also, I'm just here. I don't know. I was like, oh, let's see this. Oh, it's a music stream. Damn it! I thought it was a regular. God dang it! I haven't been around in a while.
Yeah, we do music reviews for an hour and a half, 2 hours on Thursdays, and then after that, we're gonna talk some politics. We're gonna talk about.
Yeah, bro. You know that's my favorite. I'm your favorite leftist, bro. I mean, come on.
Right.
Also,
all right, bud.
I can't. I'm not gonna lie though. That the what was it? What tweet was it? The you want some fuck? Hell yeah, you do. Just as soon as you're done with this political compass quiz.
Right.
No, dude, your fucking Twitter cracks me up, dude. What the fuck?
I try.
You just piss off everybody.
True. All right, bud. Well, we're gonna get back to
right.
this music gig, but hey, appreciate you stopping by.
All right. What did you when did you say that you usually do the other streams?
I'm gonna be doing
right after this one.
Right.
So
Right
like,
after this one?
yeah, like in half an hour or maybe an hour at best. So probably
Alright.
after a little break, you'll
Alright, I'll come
start
back around then.
talking about the rest of the world.
Right.
Well, all right.
The
I'll be
world
back in an
outside of
hour
music.
Or so 30 minutes, whatever. All right, you guys have fun.
All right, bud.
See ya.
Woo. Oh, disconnect it.
I gotta figure out how to. I don't know how. I don't know if you know how to like lock this stream, this channel, so we can't have randos. Not that I don't, not that it's not okay, like every once in a while for somebody to jump in, but for the most part, it's just like a huge hassle. We've had that happen a couple of times. I can't figure out how to lock this channel so just you and I can come in here.
Not sure. It has something to do with permissions, and I'm not entirely sure where to look for it.
I don't know either. But I wonder. I'm not gonna fuck with it right now. Okay, so we are moving on to the next one. Do a private call with Soul Strings. I guess I could, but like keeping track of a DM, I don't know. I kind of like it like this, where people can just go into the Discord server and see that we're in here. But I also want to keep it locked so people can't just like jump in, and I'd have to like actually drag people in. But Soul Strings is an admin, so like Soul Strings would be able to jump in and whatever. But anyway, we're looking at BreeBree with Trixie's Departure, original song. This is August 12th, 2021, so this is really new. Let's do it.
I think they're right. Maybe I should leave. I don't think any pony wants me here.
All right. First, I feel like I have to say this, okay? The number of Prince Whatever clones that have been spawned ever since he's got more than 10,000 subs is a thing, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. But I'm just saying, this has Prince Whatever vibes written all over it. Like, even the video and everything, like, I get the song format, like the type of songs that Prince Whatever does, and also the format of the videos, where we have kind of some elements or like artifacts that are imprinted over the video, and then the video kind of gyrates a little bit over the art and all that. Yeah, but that's all I'm going to say about that one. Okay, so the screamed vocals are pretty good. Whenever you're talking about, there's several different techniques for screaming. This is kind of like a fray scream where you're actually screaming into the mic, and it's just kind of a rah, well, no, that's not fray, but you know what I mean, where he's actually yelling, and you kind of get like a frayed sound out of it from the scream itself. That sounds like the technique that's being used here. It typically comes off as kind of like a higher tone. The thing about the singing vocals is that I don't think we have a really good coherence of melody here. It sounds like we just kind of went over an instrumental and just kind of noted down what the key was and then just kind of noodled a melody on top of that. So this whole first verse doesn't really have a coherent melody. It gets a little bit better into the chorus, but it's still with the way that the vocals are layered with the backups and leads, it just it doesn't seem to sit on top of each other really well. And I'm not entirely sure why that is, especially in the chorus. In the verses, these vocals are just, I mean, I don't want to say they're just straight up garbage, because the tone is good. It's just that the melody has no coherence to it. Anyway.
Trotting away, every day feels like there's nothing but more shame. Who am I to blame? 'Cause all I do is bring myself more pain.
There's some kind of chorusing effect run over the screen vocals for sure. I'm not really sure what it is. They feel like talking, not singing. Yeah, that's the feeling I get on these verses for sure. This last note hit pretty well, but I don't know why I expected. Well, because sonically the guitars and everything it has a fantastic tone, and I think that the drums sound really, really good, and the way that the bass is mixed in and it kind of hides behind everything sounds good. But I don't know why I expected the lead guitar right here to have any coherence to it, just the same way that the vocals seem to have a problem with that. It sounded like just, random noodling. It didn't seem like there was any sort of plan going into it. Almost like, here's the key, I'm just going to kind of go with it, and this is the take, and then I'm going to just keep it at that. So I'm not so sure about that one. There was another note that I had. This breakdown. We'll just continue. Oh, during the chorus, there was the cymbals seem to be rolled. I don't really, because I don't hear like a specific, like a riding, like on a quarter note or even an eighth note. It sounds like a 16th roll. Like it just sounds like shh. It's just white noise over the top of the track. And I don't know if that's because of the wetness of the drums, because the drums are pretty wet. And so I don't know if that's what's contributing to it. Maybe it is an eighth note, but it just seems to all fade into one white noise type of just shit over the whole track. Piano, just I know this is like the very, very end, and we have 9 seconds left on the track, but I just want to note that whenever you're programming piano, it's almost harder to program than drums whenever you're doing the MIDI tracks, because you have to change velocity, and none of the notes can hit exactly that tightly. Some of these chords are hitting all at the exact same time, and like
honestly, no matter what, just try your best to play the piano on a MIDI keyboard or something like that if it's possible. You can play it like really, really bad, but as long as you give that needed appropriate velocity to the MIDI to the piano track, it's all good. You can quantize it later to make it like sound like a better performance, but like work on the velocity first and then just slightly quantize it to make it sound tolerable. Because if you just put a MIDI if you compose the piano parts just in MIDI and put the wrong MIDI file, it won't work. Try to play it, because like it's easier to play it no matter how many mistakes you will play it, it will sound better rather than if you will spend time editing all the raw MIDI files from scratch, like editing manually the velocity and the timing, like manually. Doing that manually in the DAW, just opening the piano roll, it will take hours and hours and hours if you want to make it sound perfect.
Right.
Well, not maybe not perfect, but like decent. So it's easier to play like roughly on a MIDI keyboard or something like that, and then work with that instead of just working from scratch.
Okay, I got you. I don't know if this person has access to a MIDI keyboard. I mean, I can... I don't know if they use Ableton. Ableton allows me to make my actual keyboard into a MIDI keyboard and will allow me to record from there. I've never done that. I've usually just program it on the as it is, where it sounds like this, where it sounds absolutely 100% inhumanly perfect, and that takes a lot away from it. And so it does take a long time, especially with piano. Piano is one of those instruments that almost cannot be faked, kind of like a distorted guitar. Guitar is really, really difficult to fake as well. But this whole thing. Anyway, we have 11 seconds left. Let me just finish this out really fast. Okay,
it's just ping pong delay on the piano.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have anything else. But there seems to be a lot of problems with this mix. It sounds pretty good. We have all of the elements of something that can be like really, really good. But the vocals are, in the verses especially, I don't know we've talked about it before, but I don't know how much Melodyne is. But Melodyne, I swear to God, is like a fucking lifesaver. Okay, you don't need $2,500. I got mine for $100. There it is. Selling whatever this is. Melodyne 5 Essential, $100. And I swear, it's like, it is night and day. It is a game changer. You can do some pretty disgusting things with it, so you have to use it responsibly. But it's great. I would highly recommend Melodyne for sure. I'm not sure if that would fix these vocals.
In the chat about the clean vocals. Oh.
Yeah. Too much low mid. Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was EQ. I mean, yeah, there was problems with the EQ for sure. It's definitely like too warm in the mix. I mix my vocals with almost all the mid frequencies cut out almost completely. Not literally, but you know, it's basically just high end frequencies are boosted, and then the low end frequencies are actually walled, like cut off at like 1,000 megahertz or 1,000 hertz or whatever. But it is, yeah. There's a lot of problems with this mix, and a lot of problems with the composition too. So not my favorite BreeBree song, but you know, it's okay. It was all right, I guess. Because like I said, the guitar tone is pretty good. I think the drums sound really fantastic, except for they might be a little too wet for the what's it called, the cymbals to handle. Because that sounded a little weird, just like the straight white noise over the choruses. But that was BreeBree, Trixie's Departure. I feel like we've listened to BreeBree a couple of times before, and I feel like BreeBree's getting better and better and better. But anyway, that was BreeBree, Trixie's Departure. Now, we are going to Hillbilly Headspace, The Send-Off. Let's check this one out. 46 views. Wow. Okay. It's really interesting how the instruments are panned. We've got the bass drum and the snare drum running up the center. We have the rhythm guitar running up the right side, kind of not hard panned, but off to the right. And then we have the hi-hat is hard panned to the left. That's just interesting. I haven't heard some shit like that since like Indigata Devita, you know, like what's the name of that band? I don't know. That's the only song everybody knows by them anyway. Iron Butterfly. Thank you, Gargod. No, Gargod with the $0 in chat says Iron Butterfly. that lead is garbage. Like, okay, if you can play fast, that's cool. If you can't play fast, playing slow, playing slow and accurate will always sound better than playing fast and shitty. Like, it's just wow. Oh my god.
You can better play slower, but in key.
Yeah. That's also another problem, this we're jumping out of key. But this specific part right here, where it kind of sounded like we tried to do some tapping or some tremolo picking or whatever, it completely fell apart. At this point, it's hard not to just tune out the lead guitar. It's so bad. I really, really don't like it at all. I think that this right side guitar, this rhythm, is pretty neat. I love this like super boisterous, mega overdriven guitar. I don't even think that there's any real distortion on it. I think it's just straight up overdriven, and just like the gain is turned up to 11 type of shit. It's a really interesting sound. I haven't heard that kind of shit since like high school, when you take your Line 6 Spider amps or better, you're like whatever, and you just crank the gain up on it all the way, and you're just like, yes, I'm a metal god, and whatever. But this lead guitar is really getting to me. Jesus fucking Christ. This track would be made a million times better if the lead was muted the whole time and we were just listening to the rhythm guitar. I feel like the rhythm guitar is busy enough to hold my interest for 4 minutes, just on that alone. God, this fucking this lead guitar is ruining it, because it went from this kind of sort of up tempo 2-step into this down tempo half step or whatever, and it was such a good step down, and the guitar is the rhythm guitar is following that rhythm or that lead, and it's just it sounds so good, and it's just ruined by this lead guitar. I'm very disappointed in this track so far. Soul Strings with the $0 said he's noodling and trying to come up with more ideas, but he showed all of it in the beginning and ran out of ideas, but the track did not end, so he kept playing. And that is literally, like, that's really the impression that I've got, that he was just like, he had kind of an idea and then he just kept going with it. Was just like, oh, okay, well, I've used these notes before and they sounded all right, I guess. But man, even the rhythm guitar is I think that it would benefit greatly. I like the tone of it and everything, but I think that it would benefit greatly from a what's it called? Oh my God, a shelf to cut some of these low frequencies, because it's just blah, 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 blah. You get a lot of wub wub whenever you have a really, really overdriven guitar like that. Okay, this whole part is completely out of key.
Completely random notes out of nowhere. Literally just.
I can understand. I can understand the odd note here and there going out of key, especially when you're just like noodling wildly. But to sit
not
here
like
and
all the time, not like all the time, but he does it all the time.
yeah, and like I said, I would even excuse that, but this right here, where we've hung on the same like 3 notes, just like going back and forth, or just like treading over them over and over, and they are completely out of key, is just, oh my God, yeah, not good, not good. I'm convinced that he recorded this solo to a metronome and just layered it over it, that he wasn't even listening to the instrumental whenever he recorded the solo, because there's no possible way that anyone could listen to this and be like, yeah, that's a banger. And he didn't even listen to it. He didn't even play it back or anything. He just recorded 4 minutes of and then just uploaded it and was just like, yep, that's going to be a banger, fellas. Oh my God. Black and Blue, is this satire? I almost don't know. Okay, so there's the redeeming quality. I think Savage Destruction is getting it. Is that the drums do sound pretty good. I think that they're a little dry. That snare is a little bit warm for my taste. It's kind of broad. I like a tight piccolo snare, but it does sound pretty good. The drums sound all right. Oh my God! And then I guess we didn't even get a fade out on the cymbals there. Oh man, that was a mess. I don't think that's anything more I can say about it. I think that was pretty much going to be it. You have any any thoughts there, Soul Strings?
I laughed too hard at the way he just put accidental notes all the time. Like, what if I play this note or maybe this one? Oh no, I played this note already. Let's go with that. This is much worse. No. And then he just stopped playing at the end. Like, he didn't end his solo playing on something comprehensive. I don't know. Like, it's like he found himself at the end of the song, and then he realized that the song ended and he can stop playing finally.
It was like running a marathon for guitarists, where you start out pretty confident and then it just gets more and more taxing, and by the end of it you're like, what am I doing with my life?
I wasn't sure if the song ended, and he was like constantly hesitating to end playing, and then like, oh, the song is still going, so I should keep playing, and then he keeps playing, and then he stops again for a second or two, like, is it over? Is it over? Is it over? Is it over yet? No. And then it's just again and again and again until the song ends abruptly.
Magic Pink Horse says, the new Through the Fire and Flames sounds great. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if you've ever heard Through the Fire and Flames being played live, but it sounds a lot like that. This is not like a demo. It says another track from my upcoming album, The Final Gateway, coming soon. So I wonder if this is like a final mix down. I wonder if this is like a track from the album. Oh, it's 2 months old. God dang. I wonder if there's any... Hang on. I'm trying to find one that's not... Let's just do this last one.
This is a Nissan sales event ad.
This one has 4 views.
That's
on
right.
it,
And this is an offer you don't want to miss.
My God. I just want to see if that's like a common theme with this guy.
Oh, that tone.
Okay, it seems to be that that's going to be the case for like all of this guy's music, is that he kind of records an instrumental. I'm not so sure about this guitar tone. It seems a little bottom heavy for me. But yeah, it seems like this is going to be a common theme with Hillbilly Headspace, is that we're going to have this kind of an instrumental playing and then just kind of a noodly unplanned guitar solo that seems to be entirely improv. So not good. Not my favorite one. He's clearly got skill. I wonder if he just would, if he would probably sit down and like write out a solo that is like coherent and like really try that kind of shit, or like do it in multiple takes or whatever, then it would make a massive difference for sure. So we're gonna move on to Luck Rock with Happy Horse Days to Us All. Luck Rock never disappoints. Young Luck Rock, who looks exactly the same. I feel like Luck Rock doesn't age. But anyway, go ahead. Oh my god. There we go.
Been a long ride, and the train is still pulling through. May not be the smoothest trip, but I'm glad I get to take it with you. Happy horse
Do the daring do.
days to us.
That is, I love the, hang on. Just, oh my god, I miss conventions. But I love this atmosphere. People laying on the ground. You know, it's very folksy. I love this. This is great.
Horse days to us all. Happy horse days to us all. Happy horse.
I recognize people, and that's kind of fun. There's Dew again. Oh god, I don't remember his name. I think it's Galen. And I don't know who this is. There's a Metalcore Pony. He's lost a fuckload of weight. And then there's Steel Cords. Steel Cords has gotten swole. Like, I don't know if you've seen him recently, but he's fucking yoked. Yeah, he's yoked as fuck. That dude is like, yeah, he's solid as shit. And then Metalcore Pony is like, I mean, he's like 1,000,000 pounds lighter than that. He's looking really good too. Man, this is all old stuff. This, what convention is this one? I recognize this setup. I think this is what's it called? Maybe Texas Furry Fiesta or something like that. Anyway.
Happy horse days to us all. Happy horse days to us all.
Luck Rock has come so fucking far on his vocals. Holy shit. Like, if you go back and listen to his stuff, actually, I want to say Luck Rock was the very first slaughtering video that I ever did. And, like, I want to say it was on Spike, I'm Cheering for You, was the name of the song. And his vocals, like, had potential. But Jesus Christ, they were garbage. Like, he had no confidence in them at all. And so all of his notes were kind of, Spike, I'm cheering for you. And,
you mean the slaughtering, like when you were making videos like slaughtering of MCP, slaughtering of Audio, Dave Watcher, or whatever, etc., so for particular artists' videos.
Right. When I was doing,
right?
It was not like video essays per se. I would like set up a camera and I wouldn't do it live. I would just like record my thoughts and then cut them together. That was a long time ago. But yeah, and Luck Rock was my very first one. And so, like, I mean, his vocals are far and away. You know what? I wonder if I can just look it up. Luck, oh my god, Luck Rock, Spike, I'm cheering for you. Yes.
Grammarly can't teach you to dance,
He
but it
puts
can help you make a great
advertisements
impression
on his
for
fucking
free.
videos
As you
now.
type,
That's against God. But yeah, if you let's see here. Just Jesus Christ. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's not bad, but it's very, very clearly novice, you know?
No pony would believe you, even if you tell the truth.
Just night and day. Just, oh my god, so much better. Jesus Christ.
Days to us all. Happy horse days to us all. Happy horse days to us all.
Just night and day. Just so much better. Just to see this improvement side by side is really, really awesome. There was MC Arch.
wait for anyone or any pony.
There was Stealing Shades.
Because
I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be listening to music, I think.
that's what we say.
Oh my god, this is such a good time though. Hang on, I have to like that. That is good shit. I'm subscribed, but I don't have the bell right.
Things keep changing, I know you're scared, but we'll
There was Crusader. Yeah, Crusader. They're Stealing Shades again. I think that looks like Drummer Shy.
keep finding our own way. Happy horse days to us all.
Oh, Cyril the Wolf. The Cyril the Wolf did a song called "The End of the World," and it was the very first pony song that like literally gave me goosebumps. Where I was like, whoa, like just his vocal delivery is fucking phenomenal, like amazing. And yeah, it's really, really good shit.
Happy horse days to us all. Happy horse days to us all. Happy horse days to us all.
There's Whirlwind. I haven't seen Whirlwind since Mayhem. I don't know these people, but look at Mayhem's shirt. That's fucking awesome.
To us all. Happy horse days 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 to us all.
That's so fucking awesome. The video is awesome. The vocals are so fucking awesome. And then it sounds like he's using like strumming on the upper strings, but then he's got a separate 6-string guitar in the background, kind of adding some lower notes. But then we've also have some trumpet in there, and I'm pretty sure he can play trumpet too. I don't know if that's a MIDI or whatever. That might be legit, like an actual trumpet. But like this is the coolest fucking thing I think we've ever seen. I think that we have ever watched on this stream before. Yeah, this is fucking amazing. July 29th? God, I can't believe I haven't seen this. This is what happens when you don't ring the bell. You miss cool shit like this. Oh my god. Ponytown Slaughtering Win? Man, wouldn't that be something to just play Ponytown on stream? That would be boring as hell. I've played Ponytown like one time, and I jumped in there and was just screaming at everybody, what's the objective? Where's the weak point? You know, where's my quest giver? And shit like that. Hang on. I'm going to... What the fuck? No porn, no porn, no porn. Okay, we're good. I'm going to tweet that. This is... Oh my god. Is the coolest shit I have ever seen. TBH. Heart. Who am I supposed to shoot with these hooves? I love it. That was so fucking awesome. I enjoyed the shit out of that. Good deal, good deal. Okay. So that was Luck Rock. Happy horse days to us all. You have any thoughts on that one there, Soul Strings?
My microphone's muted. Okay, I'm not muted anymore. I told you to check the description for more information, because he compiled this song to sum up the 10 years in this fandom, and so that's why he made this slideshow.
Today officially marks 10 years to the day that I first watched My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I keep seeing memes appear on the pop culture websites I liked at the time, and looked up what was going on. When I found out the show was a big hit with my demographic and Lauren Faust was behind it, I called up a friend and told him that there was this weird new show that we were probably going to like and should try out. I can honestly say it was one of the best decisions of my life and has sculpted nearly every aspect of it since then. Fucking awesome. I originally wrote this song for a dust car competition at the end of 2020. I wanted to have an optimistic message with a bit of a somber feel to it as a way to capture how it felt when the end of Generation 4 and the prospect of an upcoming generation. In a lot of ways, it is the perfect song to look back on how this show and community have molded who I am as a person for the last 10 years. That's fucking amazing. That is so cool. Oh, Whirlwind coming in and this is so cool. Of course, Mackenzie's in the replies. This is like the Brony Music reply guy. Just does not get enough credit for sure. That's just so awesome. So fucking cool. I wish that like YouTube would allow me to like repost if it was like a proper social media platform like that. But yeah, that's so awesome. That's the coolest shit ever. Anyway, I met McKinsey at BronyCon and he was just a ray of sunshine. Yes, I met him at BronyCon, the last one, and it was he was awesome. He was so cool. I did not expect, I don't know why, but I did not expect his super thick French accent. He was like, "Yes, this is Stallion Slaughter. I want to meet you in person forever." And it was pretty neat. That sounded kind of Mexican, but you understand.
Bedwetting. And wake up feeling
So that's pretty neat.
with Ninja's
That's a whole
nighttime
thing.
underwear.
So we're gonna be anyway. We're moving on. That was pretty cool. A nice little blast, like through the nostalgia. Anyway, Jick Rowe, UEP Commander Spitfire. I don't know what ELG stands for. I don't know. Anyway.
Electric guitar, I presume.
Maybe.
I think it's electric guitar. I'm not sure.
Me neither. All right, let's check it out. Hey, that's neat. I don't know what synth that is, but it kind of gives it a folksy feel. I feel like the distance and volume between the lead instruments and the rhythm instruments is kind of far. I feel like that it's very, very loud. But I do like how the drums are in the background. They're right there in the mix with everything, all of the rest of the rhythm section. But that snare drum and the bass drum really, really cut through. That's really impressive to be able to mix it that way. Oh, fine. That was so good. Oh, man. It's refreshing to hear a proper lead guitar after those last couple. The rhythm section sounds fucking perfect. Like, I don't know if I would have any notes on that. The drums are cutting through the mix perfectly. There's a nice little warm growl at the bottom, like underlining the bass guitar. That's coming through clearly, and then the the double tracked rhythm guitar is also doing its thing, laying out the melody, really leading the rhythm section. And then the only problem that I'm gonna have is this lead synth or whatever's going on is really, really loud. I feel like it's just overpowering everything else, and it's kind of taking away from it. That would be my only note. Soul strings with the $0, like when you have a clear idea on what you want to play and how you want to approach the execution and how you want to develop the solo itself throughout its whole length. And that is the main, like the most important thing whenever you're devising a solo or coming up with a solo with it is that it has to have a clear and obvious path to go through, a very clear and obvious melody, and all of these things have to be pre-planned. It can't be there. It can't be improv, especially when you're playing like metal stuff. You can get away with it sometimes in like kind of a jazzy feel where all of the vocal or the harmonies and all that shit. You can get away with it in usually like a jazz setting or something like that. But when you're talking about metal, it's gotta be tight. It has to be super, super tight. And so yeah, it's really, really good shit. That's just so good. That was a damn near perfect track from start to finish. Just wonderful, absolutely perfect. Let's see if we can get any information on this. Ziv Shalev. In addition to the track, I had the pleasure to collaborate with the amazing guitarist. Yep. ELG is probably going to stand for electric guitar. Ziv Shalev. He did all the backing guitars as well as the incredible solo in the middle of the song. You'll see him yet again in the future. Sweet action. This is why. This is great. This is good. Ziv Shalev. Where is Sound Better? Can we have some more? Ziv Shalev. I at least want to show Shalev. Oh, zivshalev.com. Session guitarist. Absolutely, yeah. Okay, cool. Definitely worth the collab. Absolutely great. Just added nothing but good shit to that track. 100%. Just really good shit all the way around. I don't think I have any more notes. You have anything to say there, Soul Strings?
Usually, I just left a few thoughts in the chat. Like I said, sometimes I don't want to interrupt the music with my commentary, so I just left the comments in the chat about.
I got you.
Like, I think he had to sacrifice the drum sound because, like, I don't like how detached it sounds in general. Like, you have the kick and the snare right in the middle, and they sound so narrow in the mix. Like, they cut through the mix like very sharp elements, but they don't have the meat and the juiciness of the proper drum samples, or those are obviously samples, but like whatever. So I think he had to sacrifice it to make the orchestration shine more in the mix, because his specialty is the orchestra music in the first place. So I would say he needs more practice with mixing rock and metal music in the first place to get more experience in mixing that type of music, to learn how to work properly with heavy metal rhythm section, how does the double track on the guitars work, how to balance it all out with his usual orchestral elements, because here I can clearly hear that he had to sacrifice some elements in order for the other ones to shine. So, yeah.
I think it would have been much better if this lead synth that he had wasn't so loud. I'm pretty sure that took away a lot from it. And I don't know if these here. I'm gonna hang on, listen to just a second real quick. I don't think that these. I just picked the worst fucking part.
Yes.
There's
no double track. There's no double track.
I was thinking there for a second. I thought that the double track was not hard panned or something, but it sounds like it's a single track rhythm guitar in the background.
That's also the problem. Like, he just needs more practice with this particular genre or style, because this is clearly not his specialty. If he said that he will work with these guitarists in the future for future collaborations, maybe we will hear some improvements in that regard.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Because I don't think there is really any. I mean, it might have been an aesthetic choice. I don't know if that's like an artistic choice that he made to have a single track rhythm guitar, but there really is no replacement for a double track guitar. I mean, I don't know if you know anybody that quad tracks the guitars, but I don't know if that really makes a huge difference. I've never really tried it before.
I did that some time ago, and I do that right now for some of my tracks. I am working on right now for Ponysodon, etc., and for my upcoming album, hopefully this year, maybe next year, I don't know. I'm trying to work with quad tracks again, because I remember back in the day I was using quad tracks, then I switched back to double tracks because I didn't notice any significant difference in the mix, and now I'm trying a slightly different approach to it, like using different impulses, cabinets, and slightly different balance between each double track, like 2 double tracks. When you hard pan one double track and the second you have like minus 60 and 60 to the left and to the right, or like slightly different panning, slightly different volume balance, slightly different cabinet impulses and whatever, amplifier, emulators or something like that, to make them sound different, so they could like balance sound to create a fuller sound in a mix or something like that. So I'm still experimenting with that, and hopefully it will sound better eventually. So yeah.
Savage Destruction in chat says it gets too sloppy with quad. You have to be so tight. Yeah, I would assume you just have to get good.
You have to be precise. Very precise, because like the more tracks you have on each of your channels, the more precise your playing should be. Because like if you mess up one track, it will just ruin the whole experience and the whole point. I heard of the technique, like one of the guitarists I know, Andy Gillian from Morse Principium Est, he said in one of his vlog videos, when he showed one of the projects in Cubase, he used quad tracks only in some significant moments in the track. For example, during the break, when you just want to have some very full chord, just keep it ringing like, and then it just keeps ringing. And for the rest of the track, he used the double track. So he adds the quad track only for the sake of impact in certain moments of the song.
Okay. I'll have to toy around with that, because there's been a couple of tracks that I've recorded where it's just strictly double tracked, and like the especially on the more staccato notes, it doesn't have that impact. And a lot of the times I'll have to like manufacture the impact by like adding a synth to the bottom of it to be able to really get it to hit really hard. And I don't know what that is about, but we are going to move along to J Doggone's tracks. Let's see here, we got about 20 minutes before
two tracks from J Doggone and 2 tracks from Gargod, whatever.
Okay, let's do Born Victims and Trixie's Cry. And then we're going to, let's do Gargod, Archangel and Knee Deep at the end. Let's do those.
Knee deep in the dead.
Knee deep in the end. What did I say? Oh, in the dead. Okay. All right. So let's check out this Trixie's Cry. Metalcore for bronies, ponycore. Oh no.
Turn your
And
side
it's a
hustle.
2013 song. He said, check the bottom. Voltax. 2007. Okay, we'll do that one instead of the knee deep at the dead. Trixie's Cry. Okay. This is our second Trixie song. Just the velocity on the piano is so hard. It's dun 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 dun. It's so serious. Oh no, a synth bass. Speaking of single track guitar.
Stay with me. Why can't you on my face? Why thought that was mine last forever, but forever just to until now.
Oh my god, we have multiple guitar tracks all running up the center channel, and it's just killing me because, you know, it's a pretty good, it's not like bad playing.
The sky that never heals. I try my best to keep my life gone, to show them what I'm made of. The river flows against me now. My story is what I want, but I will never give up the fight, or show them I am weak.
This is very, very 2013 bronies. I don't know about anybody else, but there was like a probably a whole year or something like that when I first discovered that there was pony metal and whatever. Probably a whole year's worth where I would just almost exclusively listen to brony metal, and or just brony music in general. And like when you went back to commercially released songs, it was like, whoa, what have I been doing with my life? Listening to this fucking garbage. I'm sure that he's much better now, but I mean, oh man, it was a good time though. I don't regret it for sure. Now we're getting some panning on the guitars now. I wonder if it's the guitars are just so bright that they tend to meld together straight into the middle.
Never look behind the sky belongs to Rectable Man. What will you do with the way?
Oh my god, it's 5 minutes long. If only it had been mixed better, it would be a masterpiece at the time. I think that this would be a fucking masterpiece as is, if it were like mixed professionally. I think the composition is great. I think that the performance on the vocals could be a little better. If there was a proper vocalist and this was mixed really well, I think that this is coming together pretty good. This is like a you know, with the piano break and everything like that, this is just all it has all the same energy as like the really good post-hardcore from like the 2010s for sure. The problem with Brony metal back in the day was good composition, alpha mixing, 1,000,000%. Because this is like a good song. Like we're 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes into it, and it's just good. And all the elements are there. The only thing that's lacking is just the ability to mix and master properly. Even Prince Whatever had this problem. Yeah, I mean, everybody goes through the phase. It was just the thing that, like, when it came to Brony music, there was so many people that were inspired to actually start making music for the first time. Like, literally, my first song that I ever sat down and, like, actually recorded was a fucking Brony song. Before then, we had just done live tracks and stuff like that with a band. And so, yeah. So many people came into it, brand fucking new, green as grass, making their very first tracks ever. And so anybody that had any experience making music at all was just like, you know, a god among the Bronies, because it was just like, oh, I want that, I want to do that. And it was just, it was phenomenal. It was a cool dynamic. That was one of the charms of being part of the Brony fandom, was that it was as if everybody was this collective novice musician or studio musician or whatever, and we were all improving and coming up all at the same time. And it was just, that was so neat. I don't think that could be replicated ever. Like, I think that is something that is just going to be a Brony thing, just a relic of the time.
What I want, but I will never give up the fight, or so them I away. Just won't look to see the kindness and knowledge me, the place where I want to ride. It's your heart. Words, yeah.
I feel like the piano track here is just like so much louder than the rest of the track. I feel like with the guitars and the whole band comes in, it's weird. But God, this is just turning into a fucking Brony nostalgia stream, and it's great. That was good. That was really, really good. I enjoyed that a lot. Hang on, I want to save that. I probably want to go back to it. That was really, really good. I liked that a lot. Wonder if I can reach out to that guy, maybe cover or something. needs a remake. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I think I'm gonna reach out and see what we can do. All right. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
We are the sinners. There is no hope left for us. Cast out and broken. We will all turn to fucking dust. Can you feel the pressure breaking you down and making you feel ill? When it's time to die, I will feed the flames and you'll be right there with me. 'Cause this is how it ends.
No, this isn't Slam Worldwide, but holy shit, this fucking... Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, I love it.
Wake me up when it's over, 'cause we've been lost. We're abandoned and left here to rust. With our eyes open wide, we'll watch the world burn. We are the rejects. This world turned its back on us, left and forgotten. Now we finally had enough. Can you feel the fire swallowing you and burning you alive?
This feels like Parkway Drive.
Everything we know has gone over.
And Parkway Drive is like my guilty pleasure band, one of my fucking favorites for sure.
It's our turn to die now. 'Cause this is how it ends. Wake me up when
With the exclusion of this chorus, it feels like Parkway Drive, but it manages to be heavier. Like, oh my god, this is good.
it's over, 'cause we've been lost. We're abandoned and left here to rust. With our eyes open wide, we'll watch the world Wake me up when it's all over. 'Cause we've been lost.
That was fucking cool. I'm gonna have to listen to that again. I'm sorry.
Wake me up when it's all over. 'Cause we've been lost.
That was fucking awesome. That was so cool.
We're abandoned and left here to rust. With our eyes open wide, we'll wake me up when it's all over. 'Cause we've been lost. We're abandoned and left here to rust. With our eyes open wide, we'll watch the world burn.
It's kind of a neat composition because we got to this point where it seemed to, after the break, kind of take a dip in intensity. It still remained heavy, but like the vocals reflected kind of a what's it called? Just a dip in intensity. It just didn't seem to be as intense and angry and delivered with the same velocity. It was just, oh my god, that was fucking cool. That was really good. What? How? I don't know how. Like, I didn't hear any blast beats though. That's that's gonna be points off, sir. But man, that was good. Does anybody else feel like gutturals are falling out of vogue? I feel like all of the new bands are doing mids and shrieks, and don't really have a wide range. I feel like that shit's falling out of vogue. I feel like that's not a
It's a
thing
2014
anymore.
song. Don't forget about it.
Oh, really? Wow. Wow. I can't believe this is old.
This is old. Yes, it is.
That's
I checked it. It really came out in 2014. So yeah.
Band. I wonder what happened. Like, are they doing anything now?
Not sure.
Or is
Haven't checked.
It seems just to be a one-off. That like they just. I mean, they had their 2 songs, but it looks like they've just gone dark after those 6 years. Oh my
no
god,
idea.
what the fuck is going on with my screen? That's crazy to me. No blast beats, literally unlistenable. I can't believe that. That was so incredible. I can't believe that they just fell off the end of the earth like that.
Thank J.Gun for sharing it. I don't know.
I love the songs that mix brutality and melody. Yeah. Born Victims Band. They have 3 posts on Instagram.
I'm not sure that it's that band.
I don't know if it's the same one or not.
I doubt that.
I don't know. That's crazy. Oh, it's not the same one. There's their fucking... Oh, that's their Twitter link. I wonder if they're still on Twitter. Oh my god. Their last tweet was
It's
in
abandoned. It's all gone.
That sucks. Cause holy shit, that was really good. I'm
Press
disappointed. F in
Press
chat,
F.
boys. Amazing. Wow. Well, that's really something. Anyway, I guess we're going to move on. I'm really disappointed. I was hoping that there would be more once I would realize that it was old. Jeez. Yeah, F in chat. Holy crap. Anyway, we're going to move on to Archangel. Let's do this one. What's that?
Yo, what's that? Oh goddamn, we're still here. Okay.
Yeah,
just like 3 more songs or something like that. So
yeah, we
Oh,
got 2
okay,
more.
so,
2 more. We'll be right back.
Okay. All right, I'll be right back.
All right, bud. Okay, where was I? I like how the vocals are very orchestral. No, not orchestral. They're very whatever the word is for that, operatic or whatever, and they're very kind of slow and that kind of shit. But the drums are fucking relentless. We're going from from the quick double blast or the double bass drum to blast beats, just alternatively. It's awesome. This is the original song from the game? Holy shit. I've never played Call of Duty. So. Or the zombies one, that is. I like how all of the screamed vocals are just remaining in the background. Like the lead vocals are always clean. I wonder if they're gonna switch that up. I wonder if the screamed vocals are ever gonna take the lead. I think it's actually kind of neat the way that they're working that out. The drums still haven't let up. The drums are still just as intense as the beginning. It's just going off. I like how the guitars take kind of a different feel to it. Like it obviously changes mood, but it still retains the exact same intensity through the choruses. It's pretty fucking neat. That was pretty fucking cool, and man, that fucking why is it continuing to play?
That's right, and this is an offer you don't want to miss.
No, okay. It was that fucking drummer would not let up. It stayed. It was crazy for 5 whole minutes. That's really good. That was pretty neat. You know, I swear, video games always make top tier music. Old Vigilante 8 soundtrack was good. Oh my god, Einhander for the PlayStation had one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. Fucking Devil May Cry, the original Devil May Cry had a soundtrack that was amazing. Like that, video game soundtrack tracks are so totally where it's at. So this is in a long line of video game soundtracks that are just really, really good. I love it. Alrighty. Let's check out this last one. This is going to be Voltax. Mataviejitas. Mataviejitas. Okay. Metal Gear. Doom. Yes. The Doom soundtrack is really fucking good too. I don't remember Quake. I can't think of like what the Quake sounds like, or Metal Gear. I don't even know what the Metal Gear soundtrack sounds like. And anyway, we're checking out Voltax, Mataviejitas. So let's check that shit out. Let's go. Not the for 7 seconds that were played earlier. Let's go. No, the Ace Combat soundtracks were garbage, but this is pretty neat. This is kind of like an 80s 90s type of like really, I don't know if you would consider this thrash metal, because thrash metal is usually an up tempo. This is kind of a slower. This is just like regular heavy metal, you know. Here we go. Definitely thrash. Mataviejitas. This is pretty fucking cool. I don't think I've ever heard like Spanish thrash before, but this is going in the best of the best for sure. It's so fucking cool. Okay, all of you talking about video game music in chat, you guys are all wrong. Like you don't know the greatest video game soundtrack ever is the original Forza that had Junkie XL. Forza original soundtrack, not Forza Horizon. Forza original soundtrack, Junkie. Oh my god, I cannot spell. What the fuck? Junkie XL. Jesus Christ. This right here, the Forza Motorsport 1 soundtrack is like the menu screen. The menu screens it's the best soundtrack of any game ever, like period. Whenever we're talking about music that was made for the game, this shit was so fucking good. I don't know if what would it be called, career mode? Holy shit, it's fucking loud. This shit was so good, dude. This little walk down. No. This. Oh my god. I used to go, because this is the game where you can go and you can paint on your cars. I used to sit and listen to this song over and over and over and over on repeat, because it just repeats the same song over and over again whenever you're in a menu. I think, if I remember correctly. And I would like go out of the menu, go out of career mode, and then go back into career mode until this song played, and then I would just like design cars to this song. Like, this song is, oh my god, it's good. Fucking Junkie XL is one of the most underrated musicians of all time. Well, producers, I guess you could say. And because he produced, like, I want to say on Fear Factory and a couple of other bands. Just one of the most underrated musicians of all time, for sure. Anyway, we're listening to Voltax. I've never played Painkiller. that's not the right one. I was wondering why it sounded so based and not cringe. Not that Spanish Slayer is cringe. This is good shit. I'll have to check that out. Okay, if you're saying it's killer, I'm going to take your recommendation and add it to my watch later, and I'll probably listen to it when I'm going to pick up my kid from school. Painkiller OST. Painkiller Battle Music Compilation. What is the first Painkiller? Oh my god. Original Painkiller. Oh my god. Game. Okay, so that appears to be this one. No? Fuck.
Yeah, this one. Like, the battle music is like, it's all metal. And like there are like brief moments where there are no enemies, no monsters on screen, and it's just playing some ambient music or something like that. And when there is a battle, then it goes hard.
Okay. Well, then okay, I'll check this out. I added it to my watch later. Anyway, we're gonna finish up Voltax Mataviejitas. They don't make thrash metal anymore. They play power such spiped metal. Yeah, I mean it's good. That was pretty neat. It is very much like classic Slayer, but in Spanish. So it's an Enya band. That makes it all the better. Oh man, that was pretty good. That was kind of neat. That was pretty good for 2009. I feel like they were coming into it late in the game. I feel like most bands had moved off of this type of shit. Actually, that's a lie. Slayer hasn't changed. Slayer's been doing the same shit forever. They had a music video.
2007, actually.
This is
the video. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Confirmed it's from 2007, so like 2 years earlier.
Okay, but even then, I want to say Slayer did a. They did a music video with Danny Trejo. Actually, they did what's it called? What the fuck is it called? When you have 3 films, a trilogy. They had a trilogy of music videos, and I can't remember what they're all called, but all the songs sound basically like that. Music video. No, I don't want this. Is it Repentless?
Scalding hot beach.
My God.
Cold refreshment. That's chill.
Hopefully not Slayer.
It's Nuclear Blast.
Copyright.
But yeah, they had this whole it's a prison break is the story and whatever. Danny Trejo gets out and he like gets revenge or some shit like that. And there's a whole story to it. And there's 3 music videos that are all in a what's it called? It's the whole thing. It's really fucking good. The music videos are awesome. The music is really good. Yeah, I love this. I fucking love Slayer. Slayer's really fucking good. So anyway, that was that. Slayer is, I don't know about the best band, but they're pretty good. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to take a break. I gotta take a whiz. I'm gonna grab a smoke, and then we're gonna talk the pony ticks. But did we get through all of the? No, we got down to exhumation from Gargod. We'll get to that one next week.
For 3 whole weeks, what did you expect?
Yeah, that's true. Hey, yeah, it was a whole thing, but we've got it all figured out now. We'll be back to streaming regularly, which would be really good. I might stream more than just Thursdays, because now that my kid is in school, I'm off work.
Already?
Yeah, my kid's back in school.
I mean, here usually the school year starts September 1st. Is it different in US?
Yeah, it usually starts mid-August.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, they usually school starts mid-August and lets out in late May. And so yeah, he's back in school, so I have nobody to play with until 3 p.m. when he gets out of school. So I might stream more often. I'm not entirely sure about that one. I don't know if I'll be doing slaughterings every day. I don't know. I just don't have that much to say. And I don't
still
know.
have too much tracks to check.
True. There are lots and lots of songs.
Just keep coming.
How many we have up so far? We're up to about 140. If we, go all the way back to the 2012. So yeah, we've got a healthy little list here, but we'll get through it. We will chew through it over the next couple of weeks, see if we can get caught up again. We were doing really good too. We were caught all the way up to 2020, and so. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and take this break. I appreciate you joining me, Soul Strings. I don't know why I almost called you my own name, but yeah. But I appreciate you joining me, bud. This is always really fun. I really always like it.
Both our names start with an ass.
An ass.
I mean, that's the letter of the English alphabet, I bet.
It is. But yeah, it's a lot better when you join us, and so we appreciate that. It's really, really good. But we are going to go ahead and take us a break, and we'll be right back with the pony ticks. So everybody, give Soul Strings a goodbye and all that. And we will see you all on the next one. Because what time is it where you're at? Isn't it late?
9 p.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's pretty late.
So, not that late, but I still have a lot to do.
I understand. All right, bud. Well, I appreciate you joining me. And we will see you all on the next one.
Ready.
They all said bye. I love you guys. Okay. I'm going to go to the standby screen. And we will be right back. I'm going to grab me a smoke, grab me a whiz. I'm going to grab me some juices. And we're going to talk about Afghanistan and Ivermectin is what we're going to be talking about. Because Oklahoma is in the news. And it's a whole thing. We will be right back. And it's a whole thing, and anytime Oklahoma makes it in the news, we're going to have to talk about it. Because that's where I'm from, and I promise you that we're not all fucking morons. But anyway, I'm going to... oh my god, I closed it out. Why did I do that? I'm going to put on some music, and I will be right back. Oakley dokley. We're back. And we're going to be talking about the recent events in Afghanistan. We have breaking news this morning, and everyone is stupid. I don't know what the deal with that shit is. Let's see here. Talking Afghanistan. Let's do that one. I've seen a couple of takes so far on the interweb when it comes to like Twitter and shit like that. I've seen a lot of takes, and it's really, really kind of disappointing the way that things are going right now. The way people are talking about it, for the most part, nobody seems to know or pay attention or give a shit about foreign policy at all. Hello, Camelid. We're going to talk about Oklahoma soon, but first we're going to briefly touch on Afghanistan and the shit that's going on right now. What people don't seem to realize is that the events that happened this morning or this afternoon or whatever, just today in general, is people are characterizing this as an attack on the U.S., which is really stupid because they don't seem to know the difference between IS, like ISK, ISIS, and the Taliban. They see them all as the same. They're like, oh, look at that. It's brown people in towels, so they're all the same, right? Which is not true. This was a direct challenge to the Taliban, right? The Taliban is I mean, it's their country now. Like they're just running the shit, and so this group has come in and is now challenging them and is trying to say, hey, look, we're still relevant. It's kind of like any third party in the U.S. that you can think of, except of course in the U.S. we don't really have bombings like that they do, but I don't understand why people are having such an issue or like understanding. Like if I hate that people have I hate that people have such strong opinions about this and they don't know anything about it, which is just kind of like politics in general. They don't take the time to read anything or really understand anything. So is one question that is asked a lot is this Biden's fault? And no, it's not, you fucking idiots. This is what it was going to look like no matter what. There was nothing that Biden was going to be able to do to prevent this outcome. It was going to look like this no matter what. This was the outcome whenever Trump set it in motion. Now, I don't think Trump is at fault either. I think Trump made some missteps. And I think that Trump was correct when he said that we should pull out of Afghanistan. I don't think that we, mission accomplished and all that crap was dog shit. We had 4 presidents preside over this international embarrassment that 20 years has gone by, and the Afghanistan has just gotten worse. That we came in and we controlled it and everything, and there was a lot of good that happened with the Afghan government in power. There was a lot of rights that were afforded to marginalized groups that were not otherwise afforded to them, but we were doing a lot more damage than good, it seemed. And also staying in Afghanistan was wildly unpopular back in the States. People didn't want to be there anymore. They said that it was a bad thing. Now, if we're going to talk about the criticisms that Biden is receiving, it's always 100% of the time misplaced. And the reason why I say that is because they keep saying things like, well, Biden left behind billions of dollars worth of equipment. Awesome. You're talking about literally every single conflict the U.S. has been involved in ever. They always leave equipment behind. And they're talking about, but they gave them jets, attack planes. I've seen them called on Fox News, which is bullshit. Attack planes like this. That is a prop. You see a prop on the front. This is a low and slow. This doesn't have any range. This is not going out of the country and bombing people or whatever. It's definitely not making it to the US, okay? So all of these people just have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And it's really disappointing that they have all of these. They say that Biden rests squarely on his shoulders. Now, I'm not going to say that Biden doesn't share some of the blame simply because he's the president, okay? So I don't give a shit about like trying to absolve him of responsibility. He followed through with Trump's plan for the most part. The thing is that he tried and he failed. He, instead of pulling out May 1st, which everything that we're seeing now would be, I don't know, about 10 times worse, but it would be a lot worse if we had pulled out May 1st. So we did a more protracted withdrawal in order to give a regional security force the chance to come in and take the U.S.'s place. Because the ANA, the Afghan National, whatever the, I don't know what ANA stands for right now. I'm blanking on it. But anyway, the ANA was not going to be able to fight off the Taliban on their own. We all knew this. Like, this was not a secret, and without the U.S. government propping them up, then they were definitely going to fall. We knew this was going to happen. We did not see this happen in 10 days. The Afghanistan National Army, thank you. We did not see this happen in 10, 11 days. This is not what we thought was going to happen. Anybody saying otherwise, that the ANA was just going to lay down and literally just hand over everything and not even fight back, nobody saw that coming. Anybody that says otherwise is fucking lying. You are using today's information to pretend that you had the most based and not cringe takes ever. One thing that I want to highlight also, hang on. ISIS-K is mostly extreme disaffected Taliban and their own recruits. They want to sow chaos for the more moderate Taliban guys. If Taliban pulls their respective heads out of the and figures how to work with people who actually know how to run things that can make a workable government. And I mean, that's just the way that's going to have to be seen. I see a lot of Fox News types complaining about how we're literally negotiating with terrorists. And it's like, well, yes. We also do that too. At the end of the conflicts, we always negotiate with the enemy in every single sense. The problem with the negotiations was that Trump was screaming from the top of his lungs that we were pulling out of Afghanistan. And so all the negotiators had nothing to bring to the table. So they ended up with this absolute shit deal where they're going to let 5,000 Taliban people out and they have nothing to offer. So we're going to give the ANA some weapons and stuff like that, and that's just the way it's going to work. We have to give them some equipment in order to say we want this airport in order to evacuate people. Another note: a lot of people are saying that Biden, because that's what people care about, not doing good for the world, but always being base and not cringe. I mean, honestly, but the thing is that they want to pretend like they had this fifth sense. I'm not going to pretend and sit here and say that I knew what was going to happen. Like, I didn't know anything about this. I'm not some, five head that can keep music and ponies in my home life and all this other shit in order, as well as paying attention to the Middle East. Like, I don't have that much knowledge, but it takes a cursory glance at shit in order to understand that everything that everybody says is pretty much stupid. Like, it seems like all the takes that you're seeing on the internet right now are just dumb fucks that don't know anything. There's so many people that are saying, because of the bombing this morning, that we need to go back in. We need to have a light footprint or whatever. Anybody that says that we need to go back in and we need to refight the war all over again can literally be ignored about everything. They should never be listened to about anything ever again. These people are beyond fucking stupid. Because we would literally have to re-invade the country and fight the war all over again, because the Taliban are the de facto government at this point. Like, it's over. It's done and it's over with. This was a tragedy in the making for the last 20 years. Whenever Bush, whenever Bush diverted resources because God told him to invade Iraq, it was fucked to begin with right there. It was fucked 20 years ago. It was fucked 18 years ago whenever Bush diverted resources, and so we could no longer state build, which is probably a dishonest framing of it anyway, because it's not like we were there for that interest anyway. We didn't really give a shit about Afghanistan. We just kind of wanted a hub in order to keep Al-Qaeda from, building up resources or whatever, and because it's like a safe haven for terrorists at this point, or at that point. And then Obama takes office, and Obama drone strikes the shit out of everything and kills lots and lots of civilians, okay? So Obama comes in and basically fuels opposition propaganda, which then now the Taliban is just growing in power over the last 18 fucking years, or however long Obama was in office. And then Trump takes office, and Trump changes nothing. He is still dropping bombs on Afghanistan, still killing civilians. It's a whole fucking thing. But one thing that people don't seem to realize is that there hasn't been a single U.S. casualty in Afghanistan for like a whole year, since like February or some shit. Like, it has not been a fight because Trump had announced that we were pulling out of Afghanistan, and so they all sat back and said, cool, we'll just wait you out then. Bush came from an intelligence background. He listened to them sometimes too much. There was a lot of problems. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that the Iraq thing, I don't think that was an intelligence thing. They, I want to say, made up an entire commission in order to say that there was weapons of mass destruction in order to justify invasion. It's a whole thing. But it's been quiet. Yes, it's been quiet in Afghanistan for over a year. And then we do this pullout, 3 months protracted. And then people are saying also, oh, Biden abandoned our allies and U.S. citizens are trapped in Afghanistan. This is not true, okay? If you can go to the U.S. Embassy's website and you can see the travel advisory. They put out a travel advisory in April and said, do not go to Afghanistan. The personnel that are in Afghanistan should leave. If you don't have any purpose there, you should not be there because of crime, terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, armed conflict, blah, blah, blah. So, and yeah, U.S. citizens wishing to depart Afghanistan should leave as soon as possible on available commercial flights. They were telling people to leave since April. So no one was abandoned. Anybody that is still there had a purpose there. Contractors that are working on infrastructure or whatever. Those people that are there for a paycheck probably. The humanitarian people. Probably the worse that it gets in Afghanistan is probably more reason for those people to stay. Like, you're probably going to have a harder time getting them to leave. There's no way the U.S. government is going to go in and start hog-tying these people and dragging them out against their will. It's just not going to happen. I guess we won't be seeing cool Afghanistan travel vlogs anymore. No, probably not. So the Biden left equipment shit is bullshit. The Biden abandoned people thing is bullshit. Because, we warned people for months. Trump announced that we were going to leave over a year ago. Everyone knew this was coming. Anybody still there wanted to be there for one reason or another, or had to be there for one reason or another. Now, they're saying that, it should have been troops, or it should have been citizens, contractors, then the troops. Citizens, contractors, then the troops, which doesn't make any sense. Because like I said, these people are there for a specific purpose, independent of the U.S. military. And so the troops are going to be the last ones out. We have troops in Afghanistan right now at that airport that are fortifying it against attacks from ISIS, ISK, whatever other factions. It's just faction warfare. This has nothing to do with the U.S. This has to do with travel of challenges to the Taliban. So the whole troops last out thing is bullshit. And yeah, you can go to this website and you can see that there is You can see all of the security alerts. And look how many of them. This is just for Afghanistan, where they were saying, shit's going sideways. You need to leave. So it was a whole thing. So that's horse shit. That doesn't mean anything. It's so weird to me. Speed run to leave Afghanistan 100% category. That's the thing, is that the bombing that happened this morning is all the more reason to leave even faster. Like, we have got to get out right now. We've evacuated, I want to say, like 100,000 people. They're doing like 9,000 people a day. They're not really doing all that bad in evacuating people. There might have been, maybe if I were to be super critical, I would have said maybe there would have been a better plan in trying to get refugees out. But like I said, no matter how well the plan was to get refugees out, no matter if it was just the bestest plan of all time, the violence we're seeing right now was inevitable. It was always going to look like this. Like 2 years ago, people were saying that it's gonna go bad. Like, we always knew this. I didn't even know there was notices for people to leave in like April. Yes, there was. Yeah, like right here. I don't have that screen up, but yeah, right here it said you need to leave. Because there's 4 levels of travel advisory. You can look it up for any country. And yes, they said to get the fuck out of Afghanistan, that shit was going south. And so I don't like, okay, if I'm going to be my super big brain centrist takes here, is that it is a waste of time to blame Trump for this, because Bush put us in this war and then fucked it all up within the first couple of years. Obama drove opposition propaganda. Like, him bombing civilians for all those years is what drove propaganda for the opposition and recruitment. So the Taliban grew more powerful because of that. And then in April, whenever they did that travel advisory, the reason why they did that is because they knew that the Taliban was in the cities. They were already there. It's not like that they were in small pockets ready to take over at any moment, that they were just going to start, running in with their rifles and shit. They had seeded all of the major populations. They were already there for months. This had been a months-long operation. So to the outside world, it looked like they fell in 11 days. It looks like they just came in and took over the whole country and it was a whole thing. But in reality, they were already there. They just, as soon as the U.S. started to withdraw, which Trump did, Trump started to withdraw. Like, all I'm saying is that this was an international embarrassment covering multiple presidencies. So everybody saying that Trump is completely at fault about this is stupid. And the reason why this is so dangerous, right? I'm not even a Biden stan. The problem that I have with this is that we won't learn anything. We're not going to learn anything from this conflict if we say, well, Biden fucked it up and it could have gone better if it weren't for Biden fucking it up. Normally military evac, including relevant civilians, is left to the military. They turned the civilian part over to the State Department and they don't have experience. It's outside of the scope and they botched it bad. And I'm sure maybe there are some elements of that. The problem that I have with putting this on Biden's shoulders completely, as people are, like, there's so many people that I've torched bridges with being like, no, this is all Biden's fault 100%, is that we are going to learn nothing. So I've seen people on Fox News and I've seen people in Congress saying that we need to drop a forward operating base or a fire base or whatever in Afghanistan and maintain a light footprint. These people are fucking stupid. What will happen if you drop an FOB into Afghanistan is that the Taliban will do exactly what they did when they took over the rest of the country. They will cede that area with their own people and they will just chill. It'll just be a thing. They'll just hang out, get a lay of the land, learn the people, talk with them, all that kind of shit. And then one day, all of the spec ops people, all of the fighters, I guess, are going to be in the FOB, and they're going to get intel, of this like crazy high value target that they absolutely have to go hit right now, and everybody's going to load up in their choppers, and they're going to take off to go on the other side of the country to get this high value target, and then the FOB gets overrun and it becomes another Taliban installation. This is exactly the way it would go down, and it's just so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. And I'm an idiot. Like, I don't know anything. I can just read on the internet, and it's such a no-brainer that Afghanistan was fucked 20 years ago. It's fucked now. Nothing has changed. And so if we start blaming Biden for this, then we've learned nothing. And we're going to do it again. It's going to happen again. And that's what we need to avoid. We need to look at the violence happening in Afghanistan. We need to understand that this was a colossal failure and an international embarrassment that we all share the blame for, because this was a highly popular invasion when it happened, and then just a continual bungled foreign policy from start to finish all the way through. And if, like I said, if we don't learn from it, it will happen again. We need to burn this shit into our memory and understand that state building by force like this is just not going to happen. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Did you notice when the reporter asked the president what he'll do if Americans are taken hostage, they immediately cut off Biden's mic? He's not running much. It's the slime balls around him. I don't know about all that. I didn't see that, to be honest. It's all about Biden versus Trump. Now people seem to forget past presidents existed and problems can come from decades ago. Yes. A lot of people seem to forget that one president's actions reverberates and has a ripple effect throughout time. That's just the way time works. And so when everybody says that... why are you still talking about Trump? He's not even the president anymore. And it's just like, yeah, because we're still stuck with Trump's dumb fuck reverberations through time. Like, that's just the way life works. So that's all I have to say about Afghanistan, is that everyone's takes are fucking stupid. Nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. And anybody saying that we need to go back in is a fucking moron. And they're not learning anything. And that we're going to repeat the same mistake again, unless we get ahead of it and say, no, this isn't Biden's fault. This is literally everyone's fault. Everyone that was alive when they were taking their polls and they were saying, yes, we should invade Afghanistan and do all this other dumb bullshit. We need to... everyone is at fault for that, and we need to not sit here and pretend that this is a unique. The real winners was the military industry and PMCs. LeMayo, the amount of checks they pass lobbyists is insane. I don't know about that. I don't know if... I'm sure that they made a lot of money, but I've seen so many leftists talking about how, like, this was just a war for the military-industrial complex just to make money. And that those people are fucking stupid. An absolute waste of time to even talk to. Because if that were the case, we would still be there. We would have never pulled out. There was plenty of work to do in Afghanistan. If we wanted to make that money, we would still be there, and they would come up with some reason. Like there was enough violence in Afghanistan that they could have propagandized, and people would have come around and said, well, shit, I guess we need to fuck up Afghanistan some more. Just look at what's happening right now. ISIS bombs an airport, and they blame the Taliban and say that we need to go back in. Like, it is a fucking embarrassment to be an American sometimes. Like, I swear to God, these people are fucking stupid. So that's the Gatorade, as they say. Nobody says that, but you get the idea. I don't think I really have anything more to say about Afghanistan. It was a mess. It's always going to be a mess. It's up to them now. Like, we can't sit there and fucked up with this bullshit. Oh no, I'm not saying that it's entirely the case set in stone, but there's no doubt that the influence that those industries had on Congress through lobbyists is undeniable. Oh yeah. Oh well, of course. I mean, that's what lobbyists exists for. Shit, if you've ever worked security, you know that like whenever you're trying to sell a security contract, you don't go through and say, hey, look at this. You've got security cameras. You've got security cameras. You've got all your passwords updated, all your firmware and all this. This looks pretty good. Maybe we'll add a couple of guards to it and you'll probably be fine. No. Security contractors walk into a situation and just go, oh my God, you have no idea how close you all are to being raped by gorillas infected with super AIDS. Gorillas, super AIDS dicks are going to invade your buttholes if you don't hire us to figure this problem out right now. And that's how the security contractors work. I have been a security contractor before. And I have been around while they were, sitting there trying to, justify renewing their contract. And it is like, okay, they have big fucking plans. It's so fucking funny, dude. I guess they just couldn't hold on to this forever since they're not a military junta, at least in the U.S. I'm not really sure what you're trying to say. Apple juice. But anyway, that's all I have to say about Afghanistan. And we can leave it at that. That's going to make a really messy segment. I should like write these down and just like kind of follow point by point. I just take notes in my in my DMs on my other account and then just kind of ramble. So I should come up with something a little more whatever. So we're going to talk about the COVIDs and Ivermectin and that kind of shit. So I want to talk about that because let me oh my God, why did it refresh? Where is my article? Talking about Oklahoma. You don't upsell by downplaying the problems you want to address? Yeah. For sure. Okay. I did the wrong one. Okay, that's okay. All right. We need to look at this. All right. Oklahoma store says people buying cattle medication to treat COVID-19 despite FDA's warning. The FDA tweeted over the weekend, "You are not a horse, you are not a cow. Seriously, y'all, stop it." And I just love how targeted this is, y'all, at Oklahoma. Seriously, y'all, stop it. That's a direct quote from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration about a drug for animals that some people are wrongly using to try to treat COVID-19. That message, however, hasn't stopped the flood of calls and purchases of ivermectin from Oklahoma stores. Coco 5 decided to stop by Red Earth Feed and Tack after the FDA issued its warning. Store manager Alex Geiger said they've been flooded with requests for Ivermax, which specifically says is for cattle and swine. Geiger said the phone call started 4 months ago, clamoring for ivermectin. At first, they just assumed that there was some nasty parasite going around in horses and cattle, and then somebody told them that people are taking it to treat COVID-19. So I was like, so you're using the needles to inject yourself with the 1% sterile solution of ivermectin? And he's like, yeah, it gets it done. And I was like, okay, well, this is an anti-parasitical, not an antiviral, Geiger said. The FDA said different types of ivermectin products are sometimes used in people, but not for viruses like COVID-19, and only at very specific doses. On top of that, they said that the ivermectin sold in stores like Red Earth Feed and Tax is for animals, and the dosage is often highly concentrated and toxic for people. I don't know if this is common knowledge, but ivermectin, we have used ivermectin before on our cows. If there was a pseudoscientific idea about ropeworms. I wonder if I can just Google that. Oh my God. Ropeworms. There it is. Ropeworms is a pseudoscientific term for the long, thin pieces of damaged intestinal, whatever that word is, or bowel content that has been identified as human parasitic worms. And so people that have been taking ivermectin have been complaining about, like, look at this. I had worms this whole time. And they're just actually shitting out their own guts, like literally shitting their own guts out and thinking it's a fucking good thing because they're stupid. It's a ugh. I've been buying ivermectin for a while. Lady asked if I was taking it myself. I only said if I have worms. Yeah. There is, I believe, there is an ivermectin that is for people, but not the kind of shit that people are buying in mass. Like Oklahoma is sold out of ivermectin. There are stores that are selling out of ivermectin because of this bullshit, because somebody said that it was a great idea. Now, the thing is, I don't think we need to go through the rest of this. This is just this guy, Geiger, talking to somebody and saying, what a fucking idiot. These fucking morons are coming and buying all the ivermectin, and now we don't have any medications for the cows, and all that shit. So I want to look at how it started. Where is it? How it started. That was weird. How it started was study finds anti-parasitic drug could kill coronavirus in 48 hours in a laboratory setting, like in a petri dish or in a rat or something like that. There was no, I believe they did human trials, and I should have wrote all this down. I just wanted to look over this article super fast. Researchers at Biomedicine Discovery Institute at Monash University in Australia have found that an antiparasitic drug called ivermectin could kill novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 within 48 hours in a laboratory setting. So, I want to say that there were studies done with some small groups. I want to say like a couple thousand people, and they found that there was less people dying of coronavirus while they were on ivermectin. The problem was that it was only like 48% effective. So you'd see a 48% reduction in deaths, as opposed to the vaccine, which is like 99% effective. So like 99% of people that are taking the vaccine aren't dying from the coronavirus. So like it's stupid to me that they're so worried about big tech making all this money. Big tech is going to make all this money from this fucking vaccine and all this other bullshit. Wait, same drug if it's actually ivermectin, but you better know your dosing. Yeah. The thing is that whenever you're taking the drugs for animals, it's measured in like grams, or like, I want to say milligrams maybe, or something like that. Just some really highly concentrated amount. The amounts that are given to humans is like measured in micrograms. There we go. Is measured in micrograms. Fucking stay, goddamn you. There we go. Okay, so the type that is measured in micrograms, and that's not some shit that you want to just kind of eyeball at the house. Like, you don't want to sit there and kind of try to figure out the difference between a milligram and a microgram at the house. Like, that's not a fucking good idea. Here's the thing, is that I don't really give a shit about animals at all. Like, I really don't fucking care. Unless they're like some kind of food or tool to me, they are meaningless. I don't give a shit. If they are strictly for my benefit, right? So people buying up all the ivermectin is depriving animals of medications or whatever. Lots of people are sad about that. I don't give a fuck. My thing is that if ivermectin was more... Here's the hot take, though. Here's the truest take of all, is... if ivermectin was more efficient at fucking killing these morons, then we should stop discouraging them from taking it. Like, because technically you are then immune from COVID-19 if you're dead. That is true. It's so fucking frustrating. That this was an idea that was put out in the beginning. I was told the vaccine 6 months ago, and I was told I was going to die in half a year. It didn't happen. Then I was told that I was going to die in a year, actually. And now it's the goalposts are constantly going to move. further goalposts. Speaking of goalposts, so just to be clear, there was evidence. Excuse me. Just to be clear, there was actual real evidence that ivermectin was a prophylactic treatment for COVID-19. 48% effectiveness in some preliminary studies, but I don't know if that was ever replicated in a different study. So let's look at this statement from Merck. Here's the funniest part about people being worried when it comes to big tech making money is that Merck is a oh my god, a pharmacological giant, right? And these people stand to make a lot of money from people buying up ivermectin like this. But even they say no scientific basis for potential therapeutic effect against the COVID-19 from preclinical studies. My understanding from what I saw, there was a very limited effect. No meaningful evidence. They said it was low quality evidence that up to 48% effectiveness against COVID-19. So even if it was high quality, good ass evidence, it was still only half as effective as the vaccine. And the people who stand to make a fuckload of money from this misinformation about how it's the best treatment and the vaccines don't actually work and all that, the ones who stand to make the most money from that are saying stay away from it, that it doesn't work against COVID-19. And I, like, maybe that's my bias, I'm going to take their word for it. They are turning down a massive profit for the good of other people. Now, on the other hand, it does make sense, because if they didn't put out a statement like this and a bunch of dumb fucks started just shotgunning ivermectin and they started dropping like flies and dying and whatever, then I could see that this would, probably have a negative effect on their like stock value or whatever, or just like their valuation as a company, because they just sat by and let people kill themselves with their drugs. So I'm sure that there's a profit incentive in the other direction for them to be truthful, and that's the most frustrating part about everything, is that like their reputation is on the line. If you take drugs from somebody and it kills you, then Merck is going to hear about it. Like there's a lawsuit coming or whatever. I got the vaccine and I take 3 vitamin D3 a day. Doc said it wouldn't hurt anything. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, cause vitamin D is always a good idea, pretty much. So, yes. So Merck, the people are standing to make money from this, are saying don't take it. There is some preliminary or preclinical studies that showed that it was effective in a very limited sense with low quality evidence, and that is what's driving the conspiracies, that they're just trying to shut down this miracle cure. But the thing is that ivermectin was the only one to show that it actually was, that it was actually effective in any way at all. The thing about other drugs that they were putting, remdesivir, I don't think actually showed that it had any effect on COVID-19. Hydroxychloroquine was also not good. There was no effect, no substantial effect. And so outside of this one study that we were talking about where it said the 48% effectiveness, I'm not going to go searching for that number in the study, but that was the best that it got, even if with low quality evidence. And so I just I don't understand. I do not understand these fucking people. Like, I legitimately fucking hate these anti-vax people. Like, this feels like the last big debate. If we're going to go super doomer pilled with it, then it feels like the very last debate. Because like, people are going to sit around and would rather fucking die and create new variants, the inside out butthole variant, as I keep saying. This type of shit. Unpopular opinion, I'd rather get COVID than get the COVID vaccine. In the ER with COVID and pneumonia, please pray for me if you have a moment. I feel like, now, I don't know, philosophically, this has a lot of dangerous outcomes, but I feel like these people that say this type of shit, that would rather get COVID than get vaccinated, I feel like these people, I don't know. I don't think that they should be taken a bed. Like, I don't think they should take up an ICU bed. I feel like people who are in the ICU or whatever should be people that are vaccinated and having a breakthrough case. I feel like they should be setting up tents outside for people that are deliberately avoiding the vaccine because they have some kind of ideological bent. And for the dumb fuck Ben Shapiro's in the world that keep saying that, I don't think that getting vaccinated is really a left-right thing, okay? Because black people aren't getting vaccinated, and black people mostly vote Democrat. Okay, listen, even black people are getting vaccinated better than conservative white people, okay? This is the ideological bent to COVID-19 restrictions. The right is like 52% against, is saying that there should have been fewer COVID-19 restrictions. The left is 7 and the center is 19. So this is like, you can't tell me that the conservatives, especially because all conservatives are saying, don't get the vaccine, it's got a microchip and all that other bullshit. And then, except for Trump. Wait, hold on. Trump got booed. No, I know I put it in here. Trump was booed.
It's less than 9 months, and it's great. And you know what? I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. Bree, you got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. But you got, no, that's okay. That's all right. You got your freedoms. But I happen to take the vaccine. If it doesn't work, you'll be the first to know, okay?
He's charismatic enough to pull it off, to pull off being booed and just kind of keep going. But my point with this one is that they've created this monster that not even Trump can stop. It's so bad. It's so bad. Fucking the worst one ever. Actually, you know what? Let's highlight somebody really quick. There's a guy named Sprouticus on the interweb, and this guy was a big vaccine hesitant person and was saying, I am not fucking taking that vaccine until it is FDA approved. And everybody was saying that, no, you won't. Even if it's FDA approved, you still won't take it. You're just ideologically opposed to vaccines or doing what it's in your best interest because Democrats told you to. And as soon as it was FDA approved, he tweets this and says, I'm getting my vaccine. Full send, you know? And this kind of shit is based as fuck. When people say this is what needs to be done for me to drop all my biases or whatever, and says if they are legit and if they have said that, oh, I don't like this experimental vaccine shit, I'm not doing any of that or whatever, and that's the reason why they're hesitant from it, that's fine. But when it's FDA approved, it's no longer it's no longer an experimental vaccine. We now know the risks, and we now know the effects, and we now know that it is safe and effective. Vaccination is fundamentally a left versus right issue in a general sense. It's individual versus collectivism debate all over again. Kind of. It depends on how you define those things. But Sprouticus is super, super based and not cringe for actually sticking to his word, saying that if it gets FDA approved, I'll take the vaccine, and he actually fucking did it. That's pretty fucking cool. That's really, really cool. And I think more people should be like that, where if you set a goal, don't fucking move the goalposts, just keep your word, you know? So let's see here. Let's look at another couple of tweets. Charlie Kirk on July 29th. Now, I highlighted this one tweet. He says, mandating every member of our military to take an experimental vaccine is a national security threat. which is really fucking funny because we have mandated vaccines for service members since fucking George Washington. Look up the smallpox bullshit. Stalin with the $0. Thank you so much, comrade. Your expropriation is appreciated. Excuse me, I fucked that all up by coughing. A medical crisis becoming a left versus right issue is absolutely an embarrassment. I would imagine that conservatives would want to tout superiority in the U.S.'s ability to respond to a medical crisis. Yes! I said that in my stream when I was when we were talking about Charlie Kirk versus Vosh. Was that, like, if you want to talk about how fucking awesome the United States is, we developed a fucking vaccine for a novel virus in less than a year, and now we've vaccinated like 100 million people in less than that's amazing. Like, that's amazing. It's great. Like, if you wanted to shout from the rooftops how fucking awesome America was, this is a great example. But no. Daddy Trump said that it was bad for a while, and now he says it's good for a while. But now, Daddy Trump is like all the Republicans pushing anti-vax nonsense are so fucking stupid, dude. It pisses me off so fucking bad that the science denialism. Anyway, mandating every member of a military taking experimental vaccines is a national security threat. Yesterday, suddenly we're supposed to trust in a vaccine. Suddenly we're supposed to trust a vaccine now that it's FDA approved just because the government says so. If you still trust the regime after the past year, you haven't been paying attention. Do not comply with any vaccine mandate, no matter what the FDA says. Listen. If more people don't go get voluntarily vaccinated, they will mandate vaccines. And if you think they can't do that, they will. They have, and it's going to happen. They can, they will, and they have. Charlie Kirk is he's just so fucking stupid. Yeah. So it's no longer an experimental vaccine. It's not experimental. We now know the effects. We now know the side effects. We know the risks. We know all of this shit about it. And it's not an experimental vaccine anymore. But it's funny. Now Charlie Kirk is being paid to push anti-vax nonsense at this point. That's his only goal at this point. I don't understand how anybody can follow this person and not see this for the clear and obvious grift that it is. It's unbelievable to me. There was more. I put in some studies about hydroxychloroquine and how absolutely fucking bullshit dog shit it was. So let's see here. I think that's all I really had to say about the wait. I guess we'll end on a funny note here. This was a tweet I saw that I forgot to like, apparently. That was, oh geez, some of my comments are getting nuked. I can't say the other word for poop. Oh, yeah. I don't know why, but you can't use certain words in chat. Curse words and shit like that. I don't know how to make my chat more than like PG-13. But anyway, just got into a private Ivermectin group, and everyone is pooping their pants. I started the preventative regimen of ivermectin based on the FLCCC guidelines, and I literally shit myself at the grocery store today. Is this normal? I wonder how many of these are just trolling, of people that are also getting in there and just like trolling the fuck out of the other people. So I don't know how much, like, it is funny though. I got strong diarrhea for about a day each time I take my 15 milligram dose. Oh my God, that's a lot, okay? This has happened with each 2-week dose now since January. Some people, it sounds like, do not have this side effect. What does it suggest about my body that I do? I don't get it, dude. I don't get it, dude. Like, it's ripe for the taking on their brownie points, and they just don't do it. This stuff goes as far back as the pandemic post-World War I with anti-mask crap. Yes, exactly. Even further back than that. Fucking 1920s with smallpox. or no, not even the 1920s. It was 1906, 1905, somewhere in there. Literally over 100 years ago, we have understood that, like, sometimes vaccines are absolutely fucking necessary. Can you imagine, like, if polio was running through the United States like it used to? Like, if we wanted to put seatbelts in cars, we wouldn't be able to do it. It would be over. Like, we just couldn't do it. People would just sitting around talking about how actually seatbelts can get can constrict the blood flow in the neck. And I know somebody that died because of a seatbelt. Like, their seatbelt got jammed and they couldn't get out and they burned to death in their car. So we had a seatbelt in a car and somebody got in a crash and they died anyway. Guess they're completely ineffective. So I'm not putting on a seatbelt. There's an example right there. Seatbelts are fucking mandatory. Put on the fucking seatbelt. and so they can like I said, I absolutely fucking hate these people. I think that at this point we need to do one of two things. We need to either anybody who's refusing to take the vaccine based on an ideological bent should be fucking shot with Pfizer-BioNTech. And anybody that wants to take Ivermectin and fucking shit their brains out and some of them literally die, that's fine with me too. I think that's great. I think we should encourage people to take Ivermectin and just let their fucking guts fall out of their butthole and just be done with these people, because then they can't get the coronavirus and they can't have the fucking Zeta variant that we're going to be having in 2024 with the midterms. I got tangled up in the seatbelt and strangled myself. They're too dangerous. Yeah, for sure. I swear, unironically, that's where people are at right now with this vaccine bullshit. That they're so worried about ivermectin, which has only been shown in low quality evidence to work 48% of the time. Have a 48% reduction in deaths with low quality evidence versus the vaccine, which has been proven to be 95 to 99% effective for at least the first 6 months. And after that, I think it drops off, which is why they're saying that we need a booster shot like 6, 7, 8 months after that. People forgot even polio vaccines have been mandated for elementary schools. Clown University. We've had mandatory vaccines for a while. In Oklahoma, there is no mandatory vaccines. You can go to public school completely and totally unvaccinated. The problem is, or the reason why that's okay most of the time is that if somebody doesn't get vaccinated, but they're in a population of people that are like 80% vaccinated, there is a herd immunity element to it. The magic number is the 80-20 rule. If 80% of the population is vaccinated, the 20% of people left will be protected by the rest of the people being vaccinated. The thing is that I don't think we've even broke 50% in the US, and the number of vaccinations has slowed down a lot. But now it's been FDA approved, and people like Sprouticus have gone and gotten their vaccine now, and so I think that's pretty fucking cool. So we might see a ramp up. We might see it get over. We need like 80% of the population to be vaccinated, because we've seen people reduce the number of vaccinations in a certain area below 80%. And I want to say mumps made it come back. Let's see. Am I still got my screen up? Okay. Mumps outbreaks. I want to say one of the largest outbreaks of mumps in the last 10 years. This isn't super important. It was Arkansas. Nearly 2,000 cases in Arkansas alone. When compared to the number of cases in the 1980s, the era before the vaccine came in, there's a decrease in hundreds of cases per year, 99% of them. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was mumps, but the anti-vax crowd got really popular in Arkansas, and the number of children vaccinated against mumps dropped below 80%, and suddenly we had a fucking outbreak of mumps. And mumps is like a really big fucking thing. It's like a really big deal. in children for some reason. Like they go blind or whatever. I think we broke 50% not too long ago. Correct me on that one. It's not really going beyond. Let's find out. U.S. vaccinations. Oh my God. I can't work my own keyboard. Vaccination rate. At least one dose is 67%. Oh my God. Look at that. 52% fully vaccinated. That's fucking beautiful. I hope it's enough. Like, I hope that we're able to get more than that. It's weird to me that if you look at the counties based on how they voted in 2016, you could see a direct correlation with the way people vote and how they get vaccinated. But yeah, 52% it says all regions, but Oklahoma, I don't think is doing that good. 42%. And we've had it here. We've had it here forever, dude. It's seems to be speeding up since August, maybe a little bit. But like I said, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know what graphs look like. I just see a line and I go, cool. But 52%, at least one dose, is on our way. Like I said, the magic number, as far as I understand, is 80-20. The 80-20 rule applies. So we are at 50%. You are correct, Stilleen. For the entirety of the U.S. and also in my neck of the woods. COVID, Oklahoma. We're doing so fucking bad right now in Oklahoma. Creek County. Creek County is having to send their patients out of state. Look at this shit. This line. Now, there's not a whole lot of people in Creek County, but it's ridiculous, and they only report COVID numbers once a week. That's why it's only lines, and it's not like an actual like flow of the line and whatever. Tulsa County, where I live, what the fuck? Why the fuck can't I see these numbers? Did I fuck something up? What? Why? Why am I not allowed to see Tulsa County numbers? Okay, well, I guess you're just gonna have to take my fucking word for it. It's bad here. It's really bad. ICU beds are filled. We're having to send patients out of state, sometimes into neighboring counties. That if they'll take them, all the major hospitals are in Tulsa, and so yeah, we're sending people to like Joplin and shit like that. 52% is embarrassing, dear Lord. Imagine Maple Tree Land above us having over 70% and beating us out. It's pretty fucking bad. The data may not be reported live yet. We'll have to wait. There is they do report only on separate. Whoa, wait, hold on. Hold the fuck on. Dog, we're seeing peak winter numbers. Jesus fuck. Like I said, it's really bad here. The liberal media are hiding the Tulsa County numbers from you, literally 1984. I really wonder what's up with that. Like, why is that? But holy shit, dude. 6,200, and our peak over the winter was 8,000. Okay. On that whatever. Holy shit. Okay, I was looking at the wrong number. I thought it was like 6,500 was our peak. I didn't realize we had a peak of 6,000 or 8,000 that one day. Anyway, it's bad. It's real bad here. So that's the whole thing. I think we're pretty much done here. I don't really have much else to say about it. I'm really confused about this. Oklahoma reports more than 2,500 new cases. Yeah. Anyway, I fucking hate wearing a mask. I absolutely hate it. I thought it was kind of cool and neat at the beginning of it. It fucking sucks, and I'm tired of it. We having a discussion segment in chat, or Do you need to chat about something? If you want to chat about something, I'll hop in stream voice, real quick. But this is a segment. We're cutting it there.
Okay.
Howdly doodly. I gotta go in like 15 minutes to go pick up my kid from school. But go right on ahead. What's up?
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna. I wanted to like come in like on the Afghanistan topic, but you know I know we're already like a little bit past that. When I was going on about the you know, the whole PMC military, and you're not wrong, like when you say that, you know, leftists will say that's like the sole reason, you know, why any of this happened. I don't know. I think that's honestly a ridiculous take. But when I say that, without a doubt, that there is like a high degree of influence when it comes to the decision of, you know, constantly voting on military decisions in Congress. I mean, yeah, that has a level of influence to it. To what degree, though, I don't know, because that involves looking at a lot of, well, legal records of lobbyist transactions, of, at this point, hundreds of people that have gone through Congress.
The thing about the only thing that I have a problem with when it comes to saying about like lobbying and whatever in government, or like money in government, is that I can't think of really any policies that have been passed or any actions taken by the government which was wildly unpopular but that managed to get through because of lobbyists. I haven't been able to think of an example of that, to be honest.
Of like a military one?
No, not necessarily even military. Literally anything. I haven't been able to come up with. This is why I don't think that like money in politics is really a bad thing, or like lobbyists are really all that bad, is because the population seems to be on board with whatever gets passed. I haven't been able to come up with an example of anything that was wildly unpopular that got passed through the Senate and was signed into law, or any actions undertaken by the government that was like wildly unpopular, with the exception of like the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Like that shit was wildly unpopular, and they really didn't want to integrate with black people, and that was a whole thing. But I can't think of anything in my lifetime that has been passed that was just like wildly unpopular and everybody hated.
Off the top of my head, I'm having a really hard time remembering, but like with stuff like specifically the chemical industry, with, you know, Coke Industries specifically, the amount of influence that they had over, what was it, I'm forgetting like which agency like in the executive branch has the authority to mandate like how chemical companies go about the production of what they make.
That'd probably be the FDA.
FDA? Okay. Yeah, no, there was a bunch of shit during the Trump administration concerning that kind of stuff that was passed that I'm sure would be like wildly unpopular, but a lot of this stuff kind of goes unnoticed, or at least seems insignificant to at least what's being reported at the time, because, you know, I think we can both agree on at this point that like going after Trump on literally everything is, at this point, is really overblown, especially with, you know, blaming Biden or blaming Trump specifically for what's been going on in Afghanistan, even though we've had 4 presidents that have been, you know, that have been presiding over the crisis. It's just insane to me.
Mm-hmm. The worst part about all of that is, oh my god, I lost it. Is that one thing that I'm willing to throw to the Trumples, to be honest with you, like, is the Trumples. The one thing that I'm willing to throw their way is that Trump's treatment by the media was absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to say that Trump didn't do crazy, stupid, dumb fuck things constantly, but it got to a point where they were making something out of nothing in order to keep the news cycle going about Trumps, about the trumpets or the Trumples. They would. There was one that comes to mind specifically, was that Trump said that he was doing a 9/11 memorial, and he was having a bunch of survivors that were going to come up on a stage, and the advisors for Trump doing the thing, or whatever, the organizers said, do not invite people on the stage. It can't hold up that much weight. And he said no, fuck it. Everybody come up on the stage. if it collapses under our weight, we're not going to fall very far. We'll be fine. I want this photo op, so come on in here. And everybody came up on the stage, they took their pictures, and it was fine. And a bunch of dumb fucks in the media started circulating the story about, like, Donald Trump jokes about people who had to jump from the towers on 9/11 by saying, well, we're not going to fall very far. And it was like, clearly not even close to what he was saying. It was such bullshit. That really, that kind of shit pissed me off like a motherfucker. There was a couple of times where I had to talk to even my left-leaning friends, talk to them about the Lincoln Project. I'm like, the Lincoln Project is one of the worst offenders of this kind of shit, where they'll take crazy extrapolations of shit that doesn't even matter, and they'll make, like I said, all of these implications to it that weren't there. In order to drive the media machine. And so when the Trumples say that Trump was unfairly treated by the media, I just believe they're true. I would agree with them, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, yeah, if you're talking about the Lincoln Project, yeah, I'm not exactly a big fan of them, because a number of them are made up of Republicans that don't have the best track record in the world from what I can try to remember. Like, I remember like looking into like, what the hell even is it? Like, who is in it? Because all I know, or what I've seen from that point, is a bunch of billboards with a bunch of Trump gotchas and a bunch of tweets, and that's really it. But when you actually look into the organization itself, like, it's just anti-Trump Republicans.
Yeah, and that's really all it is. They're not anti-conservative in any meaningful way. All they exist to do is shit on Trump, and that's really all it was to it. And so I'm not a huge fan of them either.
Yeah, so any like leftists that like looked into them, like, obviously did not have a very favorable view to that, to whatever the hell it is at this point. I mean, they got what they wanted, unless Trump comes back. I mean, and many people on the left are already talking about this. Like, if Trump comes back for a 2024 run, he could, honest to God, win. He absolutely could win.
I think it's possible. It's just too far to say. I honestly don't think he'll run.
Well, right now, like, let's say, like, we're just looking at like what it's looking like right now, with the, approval ratings and whatnot. Obviously, that shit could just, complete 180 in just 1 year. I mean, look at Jimmy Carter's presidency. He seemed to be very popular at the beginning, and then within 4 years, he completely fell apart, and then he got fucking destroyed by Reagan. Like, anything could change.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, Biden's approval rating since the withdrawal from Afghanistan, which was a wildly popular action anyway. Everybody wanted to pull out, and anybody that didn't see this outcome is a fucking moron. But his approval rating has been tanking ever since. I'm pretty sure it's below 50% now.
I thought that was really ridiculous, because that specifically has to do with and it's more than just Fox. Like, NBC's been trashing on him for basically the same shit on, Biden handles the crisis poorly, because NBC is very pro-war.
Well,
I'm just gonna say that, to say the least. They're very pro-war, but
I think you're right. You are right. I am unfairly picking on Fox News. I even saw a Forbes article talking shit about Biden's withdrawal as if this was avoidable in any capacity. That's why it's dipping under 50%, because like everybody's going after him. It's not just conservatives; it's neoliberals too. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? The problem that we're having is that, well, I'm willing to bet money two things that I could probably set aside $20 and bet two things. One, Trump is not running in 2024. I don't think that's going to happen. He's not going to get the nomination. It's going to be somebody else. Trump is done. We don't have to worry about Trump. And the other thing would be that Afghanistan, by the time the midterms roll around, nobody's going to give a fuck about Afghanistan. And it's going to be a complete non-issue. I will be surprised.
I get it about next year.
Do what?
I give it about like either a couple of months to next year. I mean, you'll have like certain events that are widely talked about for like very extensively for a short period of time, and then all of a sudden people don't really talk about it anymore.
Yeah, the issues are going to be like the entire Republican platform is going to be gender neutral potato head. It's going to be trans people in bathrooms. That's going to be their entire platform. It's going to be more meaningless culture war bullshit, no policy. And I will be extremely surprised if Afghanistan gets brought up more than once in like a passing conversation or like maybe a passing comment. Maybe like once or twice. It's not going to be a wedge issue that anybody's going to give a fuck about by the time the midterms roll around. So it's possibly good. The way the Biden administration is shaping up for the midterms is probably going to, I don't know if it's going to end up any good. You know, statistically speaking, we're going to lose seats in the House and the Senate and all that bullshit. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be a tough 2 years after that.
I mean, I honestly think it's going to be a stalemate. Like, the Senate is, like, barely fucking holding on. I think the House will definitely hold on barely, even if it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's not looking too bright. But, you know, as you, let's see here. One of the most like interesting things I notice about like, you know, Afghanistan statistics is that the amount of bombs that was dropped on the country, like let's say in 2019, was far more than any other year like we've been involved in the conflict, and nobody really spoke about that, like the amount of civilian, like, you know, the unfortunate civilian deaths that were caused by those record numbers of bombs being dropped. No media coverage. A couple of people get injured from the bombing today. Fucking mass media coverage. Like,
Yeah.
That's the most disappointing thing, is like negligence to civilian deaths and picking and choosing. Like, oh my god, you know, like 3 troops got injured this morning from the bomb, like attack, the suicide bomb attack that happened. A couple of civilians died. I'm like, where the fuck were you in 2019? Like, there was barely, like, I was looking into some, like, what was it? There was research done into the top 3 media outlets, or like cable outlets, on how many minutes did they like report on Afghanistan, and I could have sworn like last year alone. Yeah, and I know it was dominated by the pandemic, but it still should be talked about because it's a fucking conflict where people's, you know, American lives are potentially being lost in civilian lives. What was
Well,
it,
not
like
last year.
5 minutes?
Not last year. Because we have not been in conflict in Afghanistan for over a year. We haven't had a single U.S. civil, or we haven't had a single American life lost in Afghanistan since like February of 2020. The fighting had mostly stopped because Trump made the announcement that we were going to leave and fucked over all of his negotiators. And so the Taliban just sat back and waited us out. And so we weren't fighting anymore in 2020.
Okay, so it was 2019. All right. Yeah, because I was trying to remember, because again, like,
yeah, 2019 was when they dropped the Moab and all that shit.
Yeah, because like I have so much information, like, you know, shoved in my face from pretty much everything that it's really easy to forget certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like on subjects that like I might talk about maybe a couple of times because, you know, as we spoke about, topics will be very hot for like a month or two, and then like you'll remember by like the end of that month like pretty much everything you need to know to argue against somebody on that.
Yeah.
And then the topic just gets dropped over another topic that gets really hot in the media, and you kind of just forget about it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I have that happen way too often, but there's certain subjects where I never break my consistency, like on, you know, like on the issue of Cuba. I don't know how you feel about that.
I've got some feelings about Cuba. I forgot. I honestly, you know what? I honestly have been completely COVID and Afghanistan brained for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I had some feelings about Cuba for sure.
Yeah, there was
okay, real super quick. I don't know. Well, the only real like takes that I had about it were really milquetoast. It was that the I don't know why leftists kept calling it a blockade. It was not a blockade. We sold them food constantly, and they still were able to trade with most of the world powers. The blockade had nothing to do with the collapse going on in Cuba, and
the protests.
No. The protests and all of the economic collapse had more to do with Venezuela than it did the United States. The embargo placed on Cuba had been had been a thing for like 60 fucking years, and just now it's gonna wreak such havoc. Like, I don't believe that. The collapse of Venezuela and them not being able to get oil from Venezuela anymore was one of the reasons why one of their dual currency systems like completely fucking collapsed, and they just weren't able to hold on anymore. Now, I think that they should end the embargo just for shits and giggles, because it gives the government an excuse. Because if you'll notice, all the lefties buy into that bullshit. The people in country are doing the same thing. Cuba was a mess, but it seems, I don't know, it seems to be leveling out. But I don't know. There was a lot of dumb fuck takes about Cuba.
So it's a very complicated issue. Like from your standpoint, I mean, yeah, I see that, and then from like the conservative standpoint, it's just nothing but, well, you see, Lamau socialism failing, Lamau. Like, I don't. There's so much history to like Cuba in 70 years that like I could probably go on for about 20 minutes. Like, the condemnation of like, oh no, we don't support dictators, but immediately before the Castro came in power, we supported a murderous dictatorship to exploit the country economically.
Yeah.
That without a doubt is a fact. So it's like, we're complaining about this dictatorship, but we're completely neglecting the fact that, well, the U.S. supported the dictatorship right before then, and we're not even counting all of the other South American dictators we backed.
Right.
Across history, and
Bolsonaro and things like that. Yeah.
Pinochet, like, I'm not sure about Bolsonaro, but Pinochet is like one of the most disgusting examples, because do you know what I'm talking about? Like, which country specifically?
I vaguely know. You know what? We'll have to set aside a segment, and we should just chat about South American countries for a while. But
man, you're gonna get some some stuff with me, because it's nothing but, left-wing government comes into power, gets overthrown by the U.S. Left-wing government comes into power, gets overthrown by like. There's just too much of that shit.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I will read into it, and we'll have to chat about it and see what we can.
Hell yeah.
That sounds like a good time. Right now, I need to go pick up my kid from school. So
I need to go deliver a package. I built a computer for one of my favorite artists in my server, so I'm gonna have to go take that to the post office and ship it off to Canada. So yeah, let's go do that.
Okay, sounds fucking awesome.
Okay, all right. I mean, are you gonna come back later,
or? Today, probably not. I'll be with my kid, but tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or maybe next week. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, because I have work tomorrow, so whatever.
Yep. DM me sometime, bud.
All right, let's go. I'm gonna go now.
All right, bye. Bye. Anyway, we appreciate y'all joining me. The music reviews were a lot of fun. I love that nostalgic feeling and whatever. And then we had some hot takes about Afghanistan, what everybody's wrong about, and some really super milquetoast takes about COVID. That maybe just some history about how the conspiracy theory got started about Ivermectin and all that shit. But for the most part, everybody agrees with me. Anybody that's here agrees with me on my COVID takes. So we'll just circle jerking on that one. But anyway, we will see you all next week for sure. Oh my God, MC Arch, you're joining me right as I'm signing off, bud. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go now. MC, love you, bud. We will see you next week. Enjoy the VOD. I'm gonna leave it unlisted, or I'm not going to unlist it. So, damn, love you too, bud. Bye.